Cape's leader, sports radio play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod. Chatham A's baseball, sports radio play-by-play. Let's go A's! Wooden bats through the fog, playing under the lights. The stars of tomorrow shine tonight. No one else can beat them. Come on out and see them. Chatham A's baseball, summertime on Cape Cod.
The hottest team in the Cape Cod League is back in action today. The 4-4-1 Chatham Anglers, owners of a 5-game unbeaten streak, the longest in the Cape League this season, hit the road to take on the 4-4-1 Falmouth Commodores. Chatham fourth in the Eastern Division standings. Falmouth mirrored record, but second in the West. Diamond side from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts, alongside Jake Klein. I'm Chase Abrams. And Chatham, for the first time since the initial off day, coming off an off day last night, the offense looked sluggish, Jake, but they still managed to eke out 2 runs on just 1 hit and come home with a tie.
They did, Chase, and I don't know that Dennis Cook feels like his team necessarily deserved to tie that game. I think Scott Landers and the Bourne Braves are probably thinking they deserved better than a tie. But hey, Chatham gets its only hit of the game in the bottom of the 8th inning while the rain is soaking Veterans Field, ties that thing at 2, and then they call the game. The A's will take the point any day of the week.
The perfect way to say it. Rain-soaked Veterans Field last night, sopping wet Veterans Field last night. Chatham escapes with a 2-2 tie despite just the 1 hit in that ball game. The clutch hit from Connor Schaus to tie it up at 2 apiece. Coming up, we've got the Anglers Extra pregame show ahead of Game 10 of the 2026 Cape League season. Chatham and Falmouth first pitches at 6 p.m. But before that, Jake talks with Dennis Cook on the Manager's Show up next. A little bit about some international coaching experience. Dennis very well traveled around Europe with his baseball experience. And then after that, I catch up with a special guest, as always, on Catch of the Day. It's all coming up on the Anglers Extra pregame show on the other side on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC.
Chatham Bars Inn is Cape Cod's premier 4-diamond oceanfront resort. With 217 luxurious rooms, guests have access to numerous amenities, including a private beach, complimentary children's programs, 4 award-winning restaurants, a new world-class spa, an outdoor pool, and tennis courts. Year after year, Chatham Bars Inn is recognized as one of the top resorts in the world. Chatham Bars Inn and Cape Cod Baseball. Summer fun for the whole family.
Welcome back on the Anglers Extra pregame show. The Chatham A's hit the quarter mark of the Cape League season today. Game 10 on the road to take on the Falmouth Commodores. It's once again time for the Manager's Show. I'm Jake Klein, joined by the Chatham manager, Dennis Cook. Dennis, you tie Bourne 2-2, rain-shortened game last night. What did you make of that one?
We didn't swing the bats well. Energy level was really low after the off day. I feel very fortunate to get out of there with a tie.
Did you feel like the off day maybe halted some of the offensive momentum your team had over the previous 4 games?
I guess you could say it could have had a part in it, but we just didn't have good approaches to the at bats. I didn't think we had a lot of good offensive counts that we took poor swings in, chased a lot of bad pitches. So you give credit where their pitching did a good job last night, and our pitching did too. But I just didn't like the feel or the approach last night.
What is the approach you're looking for from your hitters?
Swinging at good pitches, aggressively, competing every pitch of every at-bat of every inning.
You mentioned Angel Cervantes, and your pitchers did a good job. 4 more scoreless innings for Angel. He's up to 9 straight to start his Cape League season. What has made him so successful?
I just think he mixes well. He's a good pitcher. He mixes, he throws strikes. and he goes about his business in a professional way. So he's going to be successful. He's going to do good.
I know he's told us, and you've told us, that he's on a pitch count of 65 for each of his appearances. How does that affect the way you have to use him, have to use your bullpen when he goes out there?
Well, we know going in what we're getting out of him, and it all depends on how deep he goes in the game, how economically he is with his pitches, because he knows how many pitches he has. So he's done a good job with it. If we can get him through 5, I feel very fortunate.
We saw John Savage, his coach at UCLA, was at Veterans Field last night. How much are you trying to maintain relationships with college coaches so that when the next wave comes around, whether it's later this season or next time around, coaches feel comfortable sending their players to you?
Well, I think it's just building relationships. I've known John since we were kids in college. We played against each other up in Alaska in the summer league when we were in college. So he trusts us. In fact, he tells me, he goes, I want my guys around baseball people. So we're going to get his good players. And, he's a great guy. He does a great job with his kids. You can watch how Angel goes about his business, and you can tell he's well coached. I have a handful of guys that I really, really trust and work well with at the college level, and we've got good players from them.
Chatting with Dennis Cook on the Manager's Show before the A's visit Gov Fuller Field and take on the Falmouth Commodores tonight. Dennis, 5 innings shutout last time for Jack Oman, who goes again tonight. I know last time you said that you took classes with Jack Oman when you guys went to Yale together, but what is the real story of how he ended up here?
I know his dad. I coached his dad with the German national team when we were doing a World Baseball Classic qualifier down in Mexicali. And I saw Jack was doing well last year, so I picked up the phone and I called his dad and asked about him. And we talked about it a little bit more. And then the Yale coaches called me this last offseason and said they wanted to send him and Caden up to us.
I know you've been coaching in the Baseball United League in the Middle East, but you've also got international baseball experience in several places in Europe. What has that experience meant for you and done for you in baseball?
Well, I just think, especially the European stuff, you do a lot of grassroots. It's real drills, basic stuff. It's you're really teaching them how to play the game the right way, and I enjoy that. I enjoy putting a team together and playing to their strengths, coaching to their strengths, things like that. And while you're over there, you do a little bit of everything. You do the hitting, you do the pitching, you do the base running. So, it's baseball.
A couple of lineup questions for you, Dennis. For tonight's game, you insert Cole Johnson from Georgia. What do you expect him to bring to your lineup? Just
a good hitter and good defense. Cole is a young kid out of Georgia, had 80-something at-bats. I think he hit over 300 for him in limited time, and he's the kind of kid that's going to be up here for the rest of the summer and trying to get at-bats and get better.
Meanwhile, a little bit of a shakeup. You've got Harlan Hovatter behind the plate tonight, and then Corbin Reynolds, who had previously only been a catcher, over at first for the first time this summer. What went into that decision?
Mississippi State is going to be at the game tonight, and they want to see Harlan catch. So we said, Harlan, you're catching.
There's Dennis Cook on the Manager's Show. Chatham and Falmouth coming up in just a couple of moments. Dennis, thanks as always.
Thank you.
Back to Chase Abrams for the rest of the Anglers Extra pregame show.
All right, Jake. Angel Cervantes started off his summer with 5 hitless innings and then followed it up with 4 more scoreless last time out. Jack Oman goes today. He threw 5 scoreless against Catuit to start his summer, trying to build on that. And now we've got the real story of how we ended up in Chatham. And unfortunately, no, Dennis Cook did not take a class with him at Yale.
Dennis makes me laugh sometimes. That was one of those times. Yeah, no, not a Yale guy. But, boy, Jack Oman was fantastic in his first start on the road at Catuit. If he can repeat it again today against a Falmouth offense that's been kind of ho-hum, middle of the pack in the Cape Cod Baseball League, he will do Chatham a huge favor early in this game.
Dennis Cook, not a Yale guy. He was a Texas guy. Coming up on Catch of the Day, I catch up with somebody who was almost a Texas guy. It's Chatham left fielder Bino Waters coming up on the other side on Catch of the Day.
Anglers Extra. Chatham on TIC. Cape Cod.
Sweet Tomatoes Pizza, located right around the corner from Veterans Field at 790 Main Street in Chatham. Pick up a pie on your way to the game or grab a calzone before first pitch. The dough for their specialty pizza is rolled right before your eyes. Eat in or take out, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and sometimes later. Call 508-348-0200. See their full menu online at SweetTomatosCapeCod.com. Sweet Tomatoes, a Chatham pregame tradition.
Welcome back on the Anglers Extra pregame show. Game 10 is upcoming with Chatham in Falmouth today. First pitch at 6 p.m. But first, it's time for Catch of the Day. I'm Chase Abrams. I'm joined today by Chatham left fielder Bino Waters. Now, Bino, not your birth name. Brenson's the birth name. Where did Bino come from?
When I was younger, I wouldn't do so much like great things when I was younger. I get in trouble a lot, so my dad would call me B, and then he'd say no. So they kind of put two and two together, and then I've got two younger brothers that also have nicknames that kind of originated from something similar.
What are the other nicknames?
Flip, because he was a spaz when he was a little younger. His real name's Colton, and then Rhino, they wanted something similar to Bino, so kind of got that connection.
What were you doing to get in trouble?
I don't really know. I don't remember. I wish I did, because it would probably add more to the story, but I'm not really sure.
It's all good. You're one of the first guys at the field pretty much every day. Really, the first guy at the field pretty much every day. Is that something you try to do?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just who I am, and like part of my routine, I think, is getting there early, making sure my body feels good and ready and prepared for the game.
Walk me through that pregame routine.
It's typically a stretch at the house. I have a great host family with Wendy. And then I get to the field about an hour before stretch. I'll do my own stretching routine and then go through my cage pre-work with Caruso, who's been very helpful in my swing and approach side of things. And then we kind of get into our BP and then just play from there.
Saw a guy come up to you today at Veterans Field and ask for your picture. Is that something that's new to you, or are you used to it at this point?
It's kind of grown throughout the college experience, but I think the LSU fan base is a little bit different than the Notre Dame fan base. So from that aspect of things, like I've had to sign a lot more things, helmets, bats, which is a little bit different, but it's kind of something I'm used to.
Yeah, we're getting into the your transfer from Notre Dame to LSU. What made you want to go to Baton Rouge?
I thought it was a great experience. I felt like they ran like a big league program, and that's ultimately what I was looking for. My goal is obviously to play in the big leagues one day and be the highest draft pick I can and win a national championship, and I felt like LSU suited all those factors.
I know it came down to LSU in Texas. Chatham Anglers president Steve West is a big Texas guy. Has he talked to you about that at all?
Some of the coaches here had reached out. Cook played at Texas, so that I heard a little bit from him, but I went a visit to Texas A&M, Texas, and LSU, and it came down to those three, and I thought I could succeed at any of them, but I liked LSU the best.
You struck out just 63 times in 455 career at-bats with the Fighting Irish at Notre Dame. How were you able to keep those strikeout numbers so low?
I think it just goes into my approach. Coaches did a great job at teaching me who I am as a hitter and also understanding what balls I handle well. So if I'm aggressive early in the count or if I'm passive early in the count, like it kind of goes into who I am as a hitter, and then also understanding what the pitcher does well. Like if he's throwing spin early on, I got to be sitting on spin. I can't get into two strikes and try to, fight off heaters like late. So
you're getting on base at over a 400 clip this summer in the Cape. What's been working for you?
I think I've been a little bit more patient, so that's helped for sure because my walk rate's going up a little bit. But hopefully the ball starts to fall a little bit, lined out a couple of times. But it's going all right. It's been a fun summer so far.
Catching up with Bino Waters ahead of Game 10 on Catch of the Day. Bino, how are you liking Chatham so far?
It's been awesome. Chatham's the best. I've been to a couple places now on the road, played a couple games now, and I think Chatham's been by far the best field, best fans. The playing surface has been the best for sure. So it's been an awesome experience.
Is there a story behind how you ended up as a member of the Chatham Anglers?
I was supposed to go to Orleans last year, and then this fall, my coaches talked to Chatham, and they had a pretty good relationship with them, so I ended up coming over to Chatham. It's been a great experience so far.
What are you hoping to accomplish in your time here before you get to LSU?
Get as many at-bats as I possibly can and become the best left fielder for the Tigers I can be.
Well, Bino, thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Back to Jay Klein for the rest of your Anglers Extra pregame show.
Chase lineup, national anthem, first pitch, all ahead.
Anglers Extra. Chatham on TIC. Cape Cod.
Year after year, Cape Cod League Baseball and Chatham Bars Inn have been synonymous with summer on Cape Cod. The inn has offered clam bakes, beachside barbecues, and oceanfront dining since 1914. The new Beach House restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Visit Chatham Bars Inn at www.chathambarsin.com. Chatham Bars Inn, and Cape Cod Baseball. Summer fun for the whole family.
Chatham A's Baseball is on the air right now.
Swings and hits one to left center field. Back goes McFadden. He will not get there. It's a home run. A grand slam for Todd Frazier.
Chugging into second base with an RBI double is Evan Longoria. He is 4 for 4.
Hit on the ground, left side. Will it get through? Off Crawford and into center field. Federovic scores and Chatham wins it in 11. The game-winning hit from Seager. It's a 5-4 Chatham winner.
And now, with your play-by-play, Chase Abrams and Jake Klein.
Pitch upcoming at Gov Fuller Field. The 4-4-1 Chatham A's taking on the 4-4-1 Falmouth Commodores. Chatham sitting at 4th in the Eastern Division, Falmouth at 2nd in the Western Division. Jake Klein has your lineups, presented as always by Chatham Clothing Bar. Jake?
I do, Chase. We'll start with the visiting Chatham A's, 4-4-1 over the second-year manager Dennis Cook. Rob Rispoli leads it off, second baseman from UConn. Then Bino Waters, the left fielder from Notre Dame, headed to LSU. Connor Schaus is the designated hitter from Texas Tech. He bats third. Cooper Neville slides up to the cleanup hole tonight. He's the shortstop from Dallas Baptist, headed to Alabama. Harlan Hovatter behind the plate for the first time this season, headed to Mississippi State, and he bats fifth. Cole Johnson makes his Chatham debut, the right fielder out of the University of Georgia, in the sixth hole. And the bottom third of the Chatham order, Corbin Reynolds, the first baseman from Vanderbilt, Tyler Lichtenberger, the third baseman tonight out of Clemson, and Caden Dosa, the Yale center fielder. Righty, lefty, righty, lefty, 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 righty, lefty, righty for Dennis Cook. For the Falmouth Commodores, also 4-4-1, second place in the Cape League's Western Division under their first-year manager, Jack Dahm. Austin Maley leads it off. He's the designated hitter from Gateway Community College. Fabio Peralta bats second, the center fielder from Miami. Then Riley Jackson, the first baseman out of Houston, headed to Kentucky, bats third. Ryder Woodson is the Mississippi State shortstop in the cleanup hole. Then Ben Slanker, the left fielder out of Louisville, hits fifth. Carl Schmidt, the third baseman, comes from Cal. He's in the sixth hole. And the bottom third of the order for Jack Dahm is Anthony Diaz, the right fielder from the University of New Mexico, headed to Missouri. Nick Ventiker, the Creighton second baseman, and Dallas Brooks, the catcher out of UCF. Righty, lefty, righty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty for Jack Dahm. Almost time for first pitch. Chase has your pitching matchup, brought to you, as always, by the Red Nun Bar and Grill. Chase?
Sure do, Jake. Falmouth starts in the field at home here at Gov Fuller Field, and that means Ryan Castillo, the first pitcher in the game today. Right-hander just wrapped up his junior season at the University of New Mexico, 6'2", 195 pounds. In his lone appearance this summer, he went 3 innings, 1 hit allowed, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a perfect 0.00 ERA for him this summer. When Chatham's in the field, it's Jack Omen retaking the mound. Yale just wrapped up his sophomore season, 6 foot, 180 pounds. He went 5 scoreless innings at Katuitt his first time, 2 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Started it off with 4 1/3 perfect innings to start off his Chatham summer. Your umpires, as presented by Chatham Paint and Hardware. J.C. Fernandez calls the balls and strikes. Glenn Stewart will be down the first base line, and Mike Hinojosa down the third base line. The visiting Chatham A's in their road blues. That's gray pants, royal blue jerseys, white Chatham script across the chest, red number outlined in white on the front and back. Actually, it's a white number outlined in red on the back. Royal blue caps with the red fishhook A on set in the center. For the home Falmouth Commodores, icy weight jerseys. That's white pants, white shirts. Maroon Falmouth arched across the chest, maroon number on the front and back, white cap with maroon bill and a maroon Falmouth F in the center. Ryan Castillo gets his warm-up pitches in for the Commodores. Rob Rispoli will be the first man to greet him for Chatham. Rispoli leading off tonight, playing second, a more natural position. He moved down from right field the last couple games. Cole Johnson making his Chatham debut in right allowed Rispoli to move back towards the infield where he's much more familiar. He's primarily a shortstop at UConn, played some second base here in Chatham before moving to the outfield, and now he's back.
Yeah, he told you yesterday, Chase, on Catch of the Day, oh, this outfield thing's pretty easy. And to his credit, he made it look pretty easy, but I think all parties are probably most comfortable when Rob Rispoli's in the infield.
He told me he didn't want to jinx it before he called playing the outfield easy, but then backed up his talk, made every routine play, wasn't really asked to do too much, but when the ball came his way, the glove was there. Warm-up pitches have wrapped up. Rispoli stepping up to the right-handed batter's box. Righty-righty matchup with Ryan Castillo on the mound.
Now batting for the Anglers, the second baseman.
Rispoli a couple side steps into the right-handed batter's box. One practice swing. Takes a deep breath and strides in towards the back of the box. Castillo set. Coming out of the windup. Here's the first pitch. Off speed low, 1-0. 6:01 p.m., 77 degrees and sunny, a beautiful day here in Falmouth. Your time and temperature presented by the Chatham Athletic Association. 1-0, up and in. It breezes past the shoulders of Rispoli inside the inner part of the zone, and he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes on Castillo. Here's the pitch. Inside again, and Rispoli up 3 balls to no strikes. Rispoli, the UConn product, playing at second base tonight. He started the season at second base, then played a little left and a little bit of right, and now he's back. 3-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball, called the strike, inner third once more, little below the waist of the right-handed hitting Rispoli. And the count's 3-1. Castillo, set. Here's the 3-1. Fly ball, short left center field, and it's down for a base hit. Rispoli leads the day off with a single, and he stands on first with nobody gone in the top of the first.
Perfect 3-1 approach from Rob Rispoli. You get to 3-0, you're taking all the way, then you get a strike, and when it's 3-1, you're just looking for a pinpointed pitch. Pitch type, pitch location. He got what he wanted. Fastball on the inner third, and he didn't miss it.
It was loud contact on the line drive into short left center field. Bino Waters in the lefty batter's box. First pitch to him. It's a fastball called the strike. Bottom part of the zone. Talked to Waters pregame. Guy who walks more than he strikes out. 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Rispoli took a shuffle towards second base, but retreats back. Count 1-1 on Waters. Waters playing left field once again tonight. He transfers from Notre Dame to LSU after his summer in Chatham. Castillo elbow up, glove on the left side of his neck. Has his pitch. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball low. Waters lays off despite a twitch of his hands. He's ahead 2 balls and 1 strike on Castillo. Rispoli leads off first. Nobody out, scoreless game in the top of the first inning. 2-1 pitch. Check swing, called the strike by the home plate umpire J.C. Fernandez. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Waters.
And Waters seems to have some discomfort in his right hand, shaking it off. Now, wrapping it back and forth around his bat handle.
Castillo set, the 2-2. Breaking ball just a bit outside. Castillo didn't miss by much on an off-speed pitch, just a bit off the plate, too far to his arm side. Full count on Waters, Rispoli off of first. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, tapped towards the right side. Castillo sprinting over to cover. It's picked by the first baseman Jackson, who flips to first, and he dropped it. Waters is safe. Waters reaches the first two Chatham batters reach to start this game. Rispoli on second now for the A's.
That was not an easy play for the first baseman Riley Jackson to kind of have to read that ball in no man's land between the first baseman, second baseman, and pitcher. He was aggressive, got to it, and the pitcher Castillo did a good job to get over. He just flat out dropped the ball.
They can't complete the 1-3 put out here. Falmouth defensive alignment brought to you by our good friends at Short and Sweet Ice Cream. Ben Slanker in left, Fabio Peralta in center, Anthony Diaz in right. Get to the infield in 1 second. Connor Schaus up for the A's. Righty-righty matchup with Castillo. First pitch to him. Fastball low. Left to right across the Falmouth infield. Carl Schmidt plays third with Ryder Woodson at short. Nick Ventiker plays second. He was at third base the last time these two teams played. And Riley Jackson, as we mentioned, plays first. Dallas Brooks does the catching for the pitcher Castillo. 1-0 the count on Schaus. Runners on first and second, nobody gone. 1-0 pitch. Fastball, called the strike at the knees on the inner third of Schaus. 1-1.
It is ruled an E1 on Castillo, allowing Waters to reach.
1-1 count. Castillo looks back at second at Rispoli and comes home. Breaking ball way upstairs. Brooks got to his feet to catch it before it went over his head. Just slipped out of the hand of Castillo, it looked like. 2 balls and a strike on Schaus. Schaus DHing once more tonight for Chatham. He's done so for most of this season after a couple starts in right to start the year. 2-1 pitch. Ran inside and hit him. Hit him just above the left elbow. Schaus goes down to first, and Chatham has the bases loaded with nobody out in the top of the first.
Got to capitalize. Certainly not the start that Castillo imagined on the mound. A single to Rispoli, and then just flat out dropped a pitch on what would have been an easy put out of Waters. Now he hits Schaus. If you're Chatham, you want to really unravel him here before he can get settled in.
And now the bases are loaded for the Cape League RBI leader, Cooper Neville. Bases loaded, nobody out. Righty-lefty matchup, Castillo against Neville. First pitch to him. Fastball just low. A ball and no strikes on Neville. 10 RBIs this season for Neville on 10 hits. He's scored 7 runs, so he's been responsible for 17 total Chatham runs this summer. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Line drive, left center field. Giving chases Peralta, the center fielder, and he makes the catch on the run. Rispoli tags from third. He comes in to score without a throw, and Chatham leads 1-0 in the top of the first. A sac fly from Cooper Neville.
And again, Neville doesn't try to do too much with it. He just knows the situation. Bases loaded, nobody out. Just trying to put a ball in the air deep enough to get the one in. Not trying to hit a grand slam as easy as that would be. And that's why he is the Cape League's RBI leader.
His Cape League leading 11th RBI this summer. Waters stayed on second. Schaus stayed on first, and now Harlan Hovatter, the left-handed hitting backstop. First pitch to him, cut on and missed, strike one. Hovatter transfers from Meridian Community College to Mississippi State after this summer. Mississippi State coaches are in attendance today, so he's catching for the first time this summer. He's been playing first to start, just out of necessity for Chatham. 0-1 pitch, off speed, low. Hovatter started the hands, did not go around, and it's 1-1. Waters off of second. Schaus off of first. Castillo looks back towards second. Comes home with the 1-1. Breaking ball, called a strike on the outer third, just across the letters of Hovatter in the left-handed batter's box. He's behind a ball and 2 strikes. Left-handed hitting outfielder Cole Johnson waits on deck for his first Chatham at-bat. 1-2 pitch. Fastball outside. 2-2 now. Hovatter taps each side of the plate, twirls the bat towards the pitcher's mound and Castillo. Castillo has his sign, glove at the waist. A peek towards second. His 2-2 pitch. Fastball outside again. Hovatter works it full.
2 pitches that for Hovatter are not easy to lay off, especially that last one just up and away.
Castillo not missing by much. 3-2 the count, 1 gone. Here's the payoff. Cut on and miss, strike 3. Castillo fans Hovatter for the second out in the top of the first inning. He's an out away from escaping this inning, having allowed just the 1 run, despite loading the bases with nobody out.
And that would be massive. Considering the circumstances, to allow just 1 run in this situation and get your team up to the plate in a manageable situation would be huge, to say the least, for Falmouth.
Cole Johnson up for Chatham. First pitch to him. It's a fastball on the outer third, called a strike. Johnson in his first game in the Chatham Royal Blue. After 33 games at Georgia this past year, his freshman season with the Bulldogs. Castillo peeked back towards second. 0-1 pitch. Bounces in the dirt and away from the catcher, Brooks. Waters goes to third. Schaus goes to second. And there's 2 men in scoring position for Chatham on the pass ball.
We'll see if it ends up as consequential as it could be, but that may loom large because all of a sudden, a single from Johnson, and this is a 3-0 game instead of a 2-0 game.
And it could stay as a 1-0 game. 1-1 the count after the breaking ball in the dirt. Here's the pitch. Fastball, flied out towards left field. In comes the left fielder, Ben Slanker. He's under it, and he hauls it in for out number 3. Johnson can't capitalize in his first Chatham at bat. Leaves 2 runners in scoring position. It's 1 run on 1 hit for the A's. Rispoli the only hit, the single. He came around to score on the Cooper Neville sac fly. 1-0 Chatham after the top half of the first inning. Jack Oman will face the top third of the Falmouth order when we come back. Austin Maley, Fabio Peralta, and Riley Jackson when we come back on the other side on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC.
What I want, you got, and it might be hard to handle. But like a flame that burns a candle, the candle feeds the flame. Yeah, yeah, what I got, full stock of thoughts and dreams to scatter. And you pull them all together, and how I can't explain. Oh yeah, well, you make my dreams come true.
Hi, this is Cooper Neville from the University of Alabama. You're listening to Chatham A's Baseball with Chase Abrams and Jake Klein on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
1-0 your score from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Chatham on top of the Commodores as we get ready for the bottom of the first inning. Jack Oman faces the top third to lead things off of the Falmouth order. But first, we go over the Chatham defensive alignment presented by our good friends at Short and Sweet Ice Cream. Bino Waters plays left with Caden Dosa in center and Cole Johnson in his Chatham debut in right field. Left to right across the infield, Tyler Lichtenberger at third, Cooper Neville at shortstop. Rob Rispoli is back back at second base, and Corbin Reynolds plays first for the first time this summer, with the original Chatham first baseman Harlan Hovatter behind the dish doing the catching for Jack Oman on the mound. Warm-up pitches are wrapped up. Austin Maley stepping to the plate into the right-handed batter's box. Righty-righty matchup with the starter Oman.
Number 24, Austin Maley.
An expectant swing from Maley, and he steps into the box. Oman set, glove at the waist. Now at his face. First pitch. Fastball upstairs, 1-0. Maley going into his junior season from Gateway Community College. 6 foot 190, batting from the right side. Oman's 1-0. Fastball, called the strike, inner third, just below the letters, in front of Maley's chest in the right-handed batter's box. The count evens up at 1-1. Oman's pitch, breaking ball way up high. 2-1 the count. Breaking ball got away from Oman, slipped out of his hand. We saw that happen at least once to the starter Ryan Castillo in the top half of the frame. 2 balls and a strike on Austin Maley. Here's the pitch. Fastball in the dirt. And the count runs to 3-1. Oman walked just one batter in Chatham's game against Cotuit. That was kind of the coming out party for the Chatham offense, that scored 17 runs that game. It almost overshadowed the fact that Jack Oman went 5 scoreless and started the game off with 4 1/3 innings. Perfect.
It did overshadow it, no doubt about that.
3-1 pitch. Fastball, called the strike. Maley checked his swing. It didn't matter. It was called a strike anyways by home plate umpire J.C. Fernandez. And the count runs full on Maley to start off this game for the Commodores. Fabio Peralta, left-handed hitting center fielder from Miami, waits on deck. Oman's payoff. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Oman's day so strong his first time out. His first strikeout didn't actually come until later in the game, until the 4th inning. Well, wasting no time here, he strikes out Maley to start off the game. And there's one gone in the bottom of the first.
Right. And that time, Oman shook twice off of pitches called by the catcher, Harlan Hovatter. He wanted to throw the fastball, and he just blew it past Maley.
First pitch to the lefty, Peralta. Breaking ball, called the strike on the outer third. The last time Oman pitched, his catcher was Corbin Reynolds, who's now playing first. Throwing to Hovatter for the first time in a game this summer. Ahead 0-1 on the lefty, Peralta. Here's the pitch. Off speed, low and away. 1-1 the count on Fabio Peralta. Fabio Peralta hit 9th the last time these two teams faced. Singled twice in a game that ended in the 5th inning. He was 2 for 2. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, low and away again. Oman missed his spot. 2 balls and a strike on Peralta now. Defense playing mostly straight up. The third baseman, Lichtenberger, a hair in line with the bag at third. Oman's 2-1. Fastball, just low. Peralta lays off, and he's got the friendly 3-1 count. Good pitch right there. Oman set, glove at the face. Out of the windup, here's the pitch. Fastball, flied foul down the third base side and out of play. Peralta going into his junior season at the University of Miami, 6'2", 191 pounds, batting from the left side and playing center field today. Hit .289 this past season. A home run, 29 RBIs. The pitch, check swing in the dirt. He went around. Hovatter can't find it. Peralta gets to first safely on the drop third strike. It bounced in the dirt. He offered at it, went around, but Hovatter couldn't find it in the dirt, and Peralta reaches safely.
And that'll probably go down as a strikeout in a wild pitch, but I don't know that that's really on Jack Omen. The ball bounced really 5-10 feet away from Hovatter, and he just had no idea where it was. By the time he located it, Peralta was 2/3, if not 3/4 of the way to first base.
It was a breaking ball that dropped below the zone, but started right in the strike zone. First pitch to the righty Jackson. Here it is. Breaking ball up and in. Riley Jackson, right-handed hitting first baseman, going from Houston to Kentucky after this summer, is the next man up for Falmouth. He's up with a man on first and one gone in the bottom of the first inning. Chatham leading Falmouth 1-0. Omen's 1-0. Fastball cut on and missed, strike one. Omen coming out of the stretch now with the runner Peralta on first. Not exactly double play depth from the Chatham middle infielders, pretty much straight up. Neville and Rispoli in their normal positions, respectively. 1-1 the count. Here's Omen's pitch. Fastball grounded foul left side. Would probably have been too slow to turn a double play. It was grounded softly to the left side towards third. Lichtenberger, had he fielded it cleanly, I think would have only been able to go to first for the out. After the foul ball, it's a ball and 2 strikes on Jackson. Peralta off of first. Omen's pitch. Fastball in the dirt. Hovatter blocks it, finds it, and throws it back to Omen. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jackson. Jackson hitting .310 in his 7 games played in Falmouth so far. Though 10 strikeouts and no walks. 2-2 pitch. Runner goes, pitches a called strike, throw to second, bounces into center field, cut off by Neville, who was ranging over from shortstop to back it up. It is a strikeout of Riley Jackson, but Fabio Peralta moves to second on the stolen base.
Now batting for the Commodores, the shortstop from Mississippi State, number 25, Ryder Woodson.
Ryder Woodson, the next man up for the Falmouth Commodores, shortstop batting from the right side. Says a couple words to his future Mississippi State teammate Harlan Hovatter behind the dish. Checks his bat and strides into the right-handed batter's box. White batting gloves for Ryder Woodson, matching his all-white uniform. Peralta off of second. Omen looks him back. First pitch to Woodson. Wave and a miss. Omen ahead 0-1.
You have to imagine if there's any team that's got the book on Ryder Woodson, it's Chatham, because Jay Powell, the ace pitching coach, has only watched Woodson play all season at Mississippi State.
Powell just arrived, really, 4 or 5 days ago. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, wave and a miss, strike 2.
And Omen now a pitch away from a 4-strikeout inning.
Yes, the rare 4-strikeout inning. He struck out Maley, got Peralta swinging as well, but Peralta reached on the drop third strike. Then he struck out Jackson and a strike away from doing the same to Woodson. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Called strike 3. It pops out of Hovatter's mitt. He can't pick it up. Now he does. And we say no drop third strike.
The batter kicked the ball, so they called him out.
Well, the rare 4-strikeout inning, we bear witness to it. Jack Omen strikes out Austin Maley, Fabio Peralta, Riley Jackson, and Ryder Woodson in the first inning. It's no runs, no hits, no errors, but 1 man left in the 4-strikeout inning for the Commodores. Chatham still leads 1-0. When we come back, bottom third of the order due up for the A's. Corbin Reynolds leading things off on the other side on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
Eastern Propane and Oil is proud to recognize our hometown heroes throughout the Cape. If you are active duty military, a veteran, police, fire, or EMT personnel, you are eligible for a discount. 7, 8, and 9 coming up for the A's in the top half of the second. Chatham leading Falmouth 1-0 after the 4 strikeout frame by Jack Oman. Corbin Reynolds leads things off. Righty-righty matchup with the pitcher Castillo. First pitch to Reynolds is a breaking ball called a strike. It was a slow, looping breaking ball from Castillo that started above the zone and broke all the way back down to the bottom of the zone, right at the knees of Reynolds, who's behind 0-1. 0-1 pitch, another breaking ball, same result, called a strike. A slow curve out of the hands of Castillo. He's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes on Reynolds. Castillo's 0-2 pitch. Off-speed tapped foul off the foot of Reynolds, the front foot of Reynolds. Castillo threw him an off-speed pitch high, but it stayed reasonably high as opposed to the last 2 pitches that were curveballs that started high and dropped all the way back down to the bottom of the strike zone against Reynolds. Still no balls and 2 strikes on him. Reynolds still in search of his first Chatham hit. Here's the pitch. Off-speed, down and away. Check swing, appeal to first. No swing, says first baseline umpire Glenn Stewart. It's the first ball on Reynolds. A ball and 2 strikes now. Glove with the letters of Castillo. Out of the windup. Here's the 1-2. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Reynolds down swinging. It took 5 pitches from Castillo to send him back to the dugout. And it brings the left-handed hitting third baseman tonight, Tyler Lichtenberger, on to face the righty Castillo. Lichtenberger has played primarily second base for Chatham this summer. He's a shortstop at Clemson, and he's moved over to third for the A's today. First pitch to him. Off-speed pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Lichtenberger spent this past season at Clemson, but his freshman year, the season before that, he was the Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year at Appalachian State. He hit .341 that season. Want to know the count? Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Lichtenberger over the top of the breaking ball from Castillo. A ball and a strike on him. Numbers went down a little bit more for Lichtenberger this past year at Clemson. .272 batting average. 1-1 pitch. Fastball down low. Power numbers stayed similar. He had 3 homers his freshman year at Appalachian State when he was the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year and Sun Belt All-Freshman Team selection. 2 homers this past year with the Clemson Tigers. 2-1 pitch. Fastball, called the strike. Outer third at the letters of Lichtenberger. An even 2-2 count on him. Castillo home with the 2-2. Fastball just outside. Castillo wanted it on the mound. A little skip after the last pitch came in. Home plate umpire J.C. Fernandez did not give it to him. And the count runs full on Lichtenberger. Castillo out of the windup. Here's the payoff. Popped up. Foul territory, third base side, and drifting out of play behind the stands on the third base side. And over our setup. Slightly offset to the third base side behind home plate. Count remains full on Lichtenberger. Defense playing straight up. Chatham over Falmouth 1-0 with 1 gone in the top of the second. Here's another payoff. Breaking ball. Froze him, but it's just a bit inside. Castillo had started striding off the mound thinking it was going to be a called strike 3. Lichtenberger got buckled by the breaking ball that started above his head and seemed to break down back into the zone. But home plate umpire J.C. Fernandez ruled that it was a little too far inside. Lichtenberger draws the walk, and Chatham's got a 1-out base runner. It brings Caden Dosa to the plate, Yale center fielder who bats from the right side. First pitch to him is a fastball looped out towards short right field. In comes the right fielder Diaz, still coming, and the second baseman Ventiker can't get it. It bounces off his glove. He called off the right fielder. Now he throws to second, and Lichtenberger's forced out there. It was a short pop fly over the second baseman, Ventiker. Diaz sprinted in from right. Ventiker called him off. It bounced off his glove, but Lichtenberger was holding it first, expecting it to be a pop-out. When Ventiker dropped it, he broke for second. Ventiker had plenty of time to throw him out there on the force-out. Falmouth gets out number 2 in an interesting way. Now Rob Rispoli up. First pitch to him is a breaking ball upstairs. 1-0. Rispoli, the only Chatham hit this game, the only hit for either team this game. He led off with a single and came around to score on the Connor Schaus sac fly 1 inning previously. A ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Fastball laced out towards right field. Back goes Diaz, still going back. Now he's under it, and he makes the catch for the third out. Couple interesting plays on the base paths for Chatham that time. Lichtenberger walked, pardon me. Dose of the little pop-up, but ultimately it's no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left for the A's.
Throughout the game. The Cape Cod Baseball League.
Coming up, it's the bottom of the second inning. Chatham still up 2-0. 5, 6, and 7 lead things off for Falmouth.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
But man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Shaking what she'd got. Man, when I tell you she was cool, she was red hot. I mean, she was steaming. And that time over at Johnny's place, well, this chick got up and she slapped Johnny's face. Man.
Jason Jake welcoming you back for the bottom of the second in a 1-0 game at Gulf Fuller Field. Chatham besting Falmouth thus far. Jack Oman back to the mound. He faces the lefty Ben Slanker. Righty-lefty matchup with Oman. Third baseman Lichtenberger on the grass. First pitch to Slanker. It's a fastball outside, 1-0. Oman going to have a tough time following up his last inning's performance. 4 strikeouts, the rare 4 strikeout inning from him on the mound.
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
I would have to agree. Want to know the count on Slanker? Here's the pitch. Fastball, line straight back foul to the netting behind home plate here at Gulf Fuller Field. Slightly to the left of the scouts grouped directly behind home plate and under the press box. A ball and a strike on Slanker, the left-handed hitting left fielder from Louisville. A lot of L's there. Oman's 1-1. Fastball called a strike inside corner at the knees. Jake Klein surprised by that strike call.
A little tough depth perception from where we are, but look down and in on the left-handed hitter.
1-2 the count on Slanker. Oman comes set and comes home. Breaking ball in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Strikeouts, not a new thing, certainly, for Jack Oman. He only struck out 3 in his 5 innings at Cotuit, but he struck out 90 this past year at Yale, and he did so in 66 2/3 innings. It's 2-2 to Slanker. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball from Oman. Slanker couldn't catch up to it. It's his fifth strikeout of this game. And he's off to a pretty fantastic start, I'd have to say.
Yeah, hard to argue with 5 strikeouts on 5 batters faced, but that's pretty much just what Jack Oman does. That's why so many big schools were after this guy before he decided to stay at Yale.
Faces the right-handed hitting Carl Schmidt. First pitch to him is popped foul over the press box, straight behind home plate, 0-1. And you talked about it. Oman, a Yale guy, turned down a whole lot of SEC schools after his freshman year, in which he led the country in ERA as a starter. 0-1 on Schmidt. Here's the pitch. Fastball in the dirt. 1-1. Schmidt, third baseman, batting from the right side. He attends the University of California's Berkeley campus, the main campus for the University of California. In his first at bat against Oman today. 1-1 the count. 1 out, nobody on base. Oman's pitch. Breaking ball, line soft to the left side. Neville picks on one high hop and throws to first for the second out. It bounced off the lip of the grass on a hard, low line drive from Schmidt. Would have bounced over Neville's head, over his left shoulder, had he not reacted so quickly, stuck the glove up, and snared it before it could do so. He threw to first for the second out, and now the left-handed hitting Anthony Diaz up for the Commodores. Oman out of the windup. His first pitch. Breaking ball outside, pops out of the glove of Hovatter, who's looked a little shaky behind the dish. He hasn't caught in at least 2 weeks, or at least he hasn't caught in game action in at least 2 weeks. One 0 count. Oman brings the glove to his face and comes home. Fastball popped up, left side, foul, and out of play. Lichtenberger gave it a look, but only sauntered to pretty much the edge of the infield, left of third base. Didn't even come close to Falmouth third base coach Bo McMillan, who's just behind the third base coach's box here at Go Fuller Field. It's 1-1 on Diaz. The pitch outside, 2-1. Diaz, batting from the left side, plays right field. He goes from the University of New Mexico to Mizzou after this summer on Cape Cod. Two-one pitch. Breaking ball up and away. Oman missed his spot. And the count runs to 3-1 on Anthony Diaz. Diaz's University of New Mexico teammate, Ryan Castillo, gets the start for Falmouth today. He's through 2 innings, having allowed 1 run on the same number of hits. 3-1 to Diaz. Fastball grounded right side. Reynolds knocks it down, picks it up, and steps on the first base bag. 3 unassisted for Corbin Reynolds, making his Chatham debut at first base. Little catcher instinct to get in front of it, knocked it down with his chest, then he scooped it right back up and scampered to the first base bag to make the out. 1, 2, 3 go the Commodores in the bottom of the second inning, and 2, 3, and 4 due up for Chatham in the top of the third. 1-0 Anglers over the Commodores on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air.
Shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain, they hear the jazz go down.
Netting Pros Stadionic is the official netting and facilities solutions partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. When it comes to netting and building iconic sports facilities, it's Netting Pros Stadionic, making sports facilities iconic. Bino Waters leads things off from the left side for Chatham in the top half of the third. A's leading the Commodores 1-0. He faces the right-handed starter Ryan Castillo back for his third inning of work. He allowed a base runner. The only hit he's allowed so far came on the first batter he faced in Rob Rispoli, who then came around to score the only run of the game. First pitch to Waters. Off speed, low and away. Waters ahead 1-0. Chatham first base coach Mateo Martinez getting a late start, a late jog out to the first base bag. He heads out there now, assumes his position behind the first base coach's box, and he's all set. 1-0 to Waters. Fastball, called the strike down Broadway. Count even at 1-1 on Bino Waters. One pitch. Breaking ball low and in, just skipped over the feet of Waters in the left-handed batter's box, over his yellow and blue cleats. Yellow and blue and it's navy blue, so really more closer to LSU colors than the Chatham colors for Bino Waters.
No, they're purple LSU cleats that he got on his visit there.
2-1 pitch. Fastball in the dirt once more, bounces right over those cleats again. Waters ahead, 3-1 strike. Connor Schaus waits on deck. He was hit by a pitch his last time up.
They gave him a whole host of stuff he's been wearing. They gave him turf shoes, batting gloves. That's LSU for you.
3-1 pitch. Ground ball left side, shortstop Woodson comes in, fields on a couple hops, and throws sidearm for the first out. Waters down on the 6-3 putout. There's one gone in the top of the third. Connor Schaus stepping up with the bases empty for Chatham.
Hitter from Texas Tech, number 1, Connor Schaus.
Schaus just recently officially entered the transfer portal from Texas Tech. First team All Big Ten this past season. First pitch to him. Low and in. Castillo was missed low pretty much every time he's missed at all to start this inning. All 3 balls to Waters missed low. The first 2 Castillo as well. Or the first 2 Schaus as well. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball. Down the heart of the plate. Called a strike. Those breaking balls are dangerous. I mean, so far no Chatham player has swung at these breaking balls that seem to break down the middle of the plate, but Castillo is hanging them.
Yeah, it's about how quickly the hitter can pick it up.
1-1. Fastball cut on and missed, strike 2. Schaus did not pick up that last heater from Castillo on the mound. He's behind a ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch. Fastball tapped softly foul to the third base side over by the screen that protects the Chatham Bat Boys to the right of the Chatham dugout. Schaus, a 2-way player with the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Has only made 1 pitching appearance for Chatham so far, but he's been in every game as a hitter. A couple games in right, and then ever since then he's been the DH. 1-2. Fastball grounded softly to the left side. Third baseman Schmidt fields, throws to first, and it pulls him off the bag. First baseman Jackson dropped it, and Schaus reaches safely.
I'd imagine that'll go down as an E5 on the errant throw. Valiant effort from Jackson to leap off the bag and try to kind of in one motion grab the ball and rip his arm down to tag Schaus, and he just lost control of it as he made that motion.
Could not hold on to the ball. It's so difficult when the ball is coming towards you and then you try and bring the glove down in that same direction. Too commonly the ball just kind of flies out of the glove because you're applying two forces on it in the same exact direction. Schaus is on first now. First pitch to Neville, squares to bunt, pulls back, called the strike anyways. He's down 0-1. Schaus has reached base twice today without a hit. He was hit by a pitch in the first, and then, well, we're not sure if it's going to be a hit just yet, but likely an E5 for him to reach base here in the third. 1 on, 1 out. 0-1 count on Neville. Here's the pitch. Cut on and miss, strike 2. It is called a hit for Connor Schaus. It's the second hit of the game, second single of the game for Chatham, second hit overall. Now a run on 2 hits for the A's in the top of the third. 0-2 the count on Cooper Neville, who walked for the first time in a Chatham uniform last night. Schaus off of first. Castillo's 0-2. Outside. A ball and 2 strikes now on Neville in the lefty batter's box. Castillo looks at the dirt in front of him and comes set. His pitch, cut on and missed, strike 3. Neville waves and misses. Now he walks back to the dugout. There's 2 outs in the top of the third, with Schaus on first and Harlan Hovatter walking towards the dish.
From Mississippi State, number 8, Harlan Hovatter.
Castillo on the mound. Pitched to a 4.2 ERA this past season at the University of New Mexico. Struck out 83 and 81 in the third innings. First pitch to Hovatter. Fastball outside, 1-0. 81 in the third innings. I'm surprised that he's still pitching this summer.
Yeah, probably one of the situations where you give him a couple of outings and then you wrap him because he's got to be coming on 100 innings.
1-0 in the dirt. Dallas Brooks, the catcher, pops up and looks towards first. Schaus had taken a bit of a bigger lead when the pitch went in the dirt from Castillo, but he retreats back to first. It's 2 balls and no strikes on Hovatter.
Chatham had a pitcher last summer, Will Girardi, who threw 101 innings at school.
2-0 pitch. Fastball just a bit low. Castillo didn't miss by much, but he's behind 3 balls and no strikes on Hovatter, with Schaus on first and 2 away in the top of the third. Castillo's 3-0. Fastball called a strike. Hovatter did start the hands. Maybe he had the green light, but he ultimately held up in the friendly 3-0 count, and now it runs to 3-1. Defense mostly straight up for the Commodores. Slightly shifted for the lefty Hovatter to pull, so shifted right. 3-1 the count. Here's Castillo's pitch. Fastball grounded to the right side. Second baseman Ventiker scoops, throws the short way to the second base bag, where the shortstop Woodson was waiting. And Hovatter is down 4-6. It's no runs on 1 hit for the A's, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the third inning. 8-9-1 coming up for Falmouth on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Small town, and I live in a small town. Every day in a small town, oh, small communities. All my friends in a small town. My parents live in the same small town. My job is a small town, but there's little opportunity. Educated in a small town, taught to fear Jesus in a small town. Used to daydream in that small town. Another boring romantic gets me, but I've seen it all in a small town. Had myself a ball in a small town. Met an LA dollar, brought to this small town. That small town, just like me. Oh, I cannot forget from where it is that I come from. I cannot forget.
Milton Cat, proud to power the Cape all summer long. Jack Oman wrapping up his warm-up pitches for the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 Chatham over Falmouth as we get ready for the bottom of the third. Oman started his warm-up pitches to the Chatham assistant coach and third base coach Brett Doe because his catcher Harlan Hovatter grounded out to end the top half of the frame. Now Hovatter's back behind the dish. He's thrown down to second. Oman's warm-up pitches have concluded, and he faces 8, 9, and 1 in the Commodore order, starting it off with the right-handed hitting second baseman Nick Ventiker. The Creighton product steps in the right-handed batter's box. Begins his junior year at Creighton following this summer. Omen stares in. Out of the windup, first pitch. Fastball, cut on and missed, strike one. Ventiker, .247 this past season with Creighton in the Big East. 5 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Omen's 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, called the strike. Ventiker started the hands, did not go around. It was called the strike anyways on the inner third of the plate. And he's quickly behind no balls and 2 strikes on Omen, who's already struck out 5 in his 2 innings of work. 0-2 pitch. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Make that 6 strikeouts for Omen. He starts off the bottom of the third, getting Ventiker swinging. And there's one away with nobody on base for the 9-hitter, Dallas Brooks, the catcher who bats from the left side. Just the second game this season for Brooks. He went 2 for 5 his first time. Omen's first pitch. Fastball, swing, and a miss. A couple RBIs for Brooks as well. A run scored, 2 strikeouts. Hit .308 this past season at the University of Central Florida. 0-1 the count. Here's Omen's pitch. Fastball, called the strike, bottom of the zone that time on the outside corner. Omen just keeps rolling.
Falmouth has really not come close to touching him.
Seeing why Omen still projected as a first-round pick in the next year's draft. 0-2 pitch. Just a bit low. Hovatter dropped it. It was close. Maybe it would have been a more favorable result for the A's had Hovatter held on to it. But it's 1-2 on Brooks. Omen comes home. Here's the pitch. Fastball, line the other way towards left field. It bounces in front of Waters out there for a base hit. The Commodores are on the board in the hit column. First hit comes courtesy of the 9-hole hitter Dallas Brooks, the catcher, on a line drive the other way towards left that Waters started in on and then let bounce in front of him. It puts Brooks on first with 1 man gone for the top of the Falmouth order. Austin Maley faces Jack Omen. First pitch to him. Breaking ball. Inside. There's a slider from Omen that started out towards Maley, broke back towards the plate, glove side of the righty Omen, and away from the righty Maley, but did not ultimately come all the way back to the plate. 1-0 pitch. Fastball, called a strike. Omen faces the top of the order for Falmouth now for the second time. He had pretty solid success against them the first time, considering he struck out the first 5 batters he faced this game. 4 in the first inning. 1-1 to Maley. Fastball, just low. And Omen falls behind 2 balls and 1 strike on Maley. Brooks leads off of first. Maley in the right-handed batter's box to oppose the righty. Omen picked to first, safe. Maley hitting .409 so far this season in his 7 games played with Falmouth. Omen nods his 2-1. Fastball lined straight back foul. Maley hit it straight towards the scouts directly behind home plate here at Gov Fuller Field. It's an even 2-2 count on him. Brooks off of first. Omen looks down. Comes set. His 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, fly it out towards left field. Waters started back. Now he comes in and makes the catch on the run. Waters, the shortstop Neville, and the center fielder Dosa kind of triangulated in short left center field. It was Waters' call to make. He made it and made the catch.
Now batting for the Commodores, the center fielder from UMiami.
Maley flies out to left. And it brings Fabio Peralta to the plate, batting from the left side with a man on first and 2 gone. Commodores still trailing the Anglers 1-0 in Falmouth. Omen steps in front of the rubber, coming out of the stretch now with the runner on first base. Peralta awaits the first pitch. Here it is. Fastball, tapped softly left side. High hop, Lichtenberger picks it. Can't throw to first, he's got no play. Peralta legs out the infield single on the high chopper towards third. Falmouth's got runners on first and second with 2 men gone in the bottom of the third.
Tough luck for Omen. Pretty much did all you can ask him to do. Got the ground ball as Peralta just beats it into the ground in front of first. And it's so high up there in the air on one hop that Lichtenberger had no play.
Peralta stole 11 bases this past season at Central Florida. You know he can run, and he was coming out of the left-handed batter's box, so he was even closer. First pitch to the right-handed hitting Jackson is a ball. Dennis Cook asks, where did that miss? Was it outside? He does not get a response from home plate umpire J.C. Fernandez. 1-0 the count on Riley Jackson. Omen comes set. Looks back towards second. Here's the pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. Big hack from Jackson that time. Count evens up at a ball and a strike.
It's just got to be so brutal to try to hit right now for either side. The way the shadows have come across Gov Fuller Field from the trees behind the third base side dugout. You've got the pitcher in light and the hitter in shade.
Omen looks back, 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, down low. Check swing, no swing on the appeal to first. And 2-1 the count. The pitcher in light and the hitter in shadow is just about the worst possible scenario in terms of lighting for a hitter on a playing baseball. The shadows aren't coming in from the back. They're coming in sort of from the left side, from the third base side, so it won't be too much of an advantage for the pitcher too much longer. 2-1, swing and a miss on the breaking ball from Omen. So instead of the shadows creeping straight back towards the pitcher's mound, they're creeping in from the third base side, which means it'll be a little bit faster because it's a less, well, I guess it's a less direct route, but it's at an angle, so the shadows will get to the pitcher's mound sooner rather than later. 2-2, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. Upstairs. Omen missed with a fastball.
And he's now over the 50 pitch threshold. So Falmouth, even though it really hasn't done much offensively, to its credit, has made Omen work.
Count is full on Jackson. Omen comes set. His payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Omen sends Jackson down swinging. It's his second strikeout this game. Omen picks up yet another and escapes the runners on first and second situation. Chatham still leads 1-0 as we get ready for the top of the 4th inning. When we come back, it's 6, 7, and 8 for Chatham, starting it off with Cole Johnson, then Corbin Reynolds and Tyler Lichtenberger, the 3 men due up for the A's. Jake Klein has you on play-by-play when we return on the other side on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC.
Hi, this is Dennis Cook, manager of the Chatham Anglers. You're listening to Chatham A's Baseball with Chase Abrams and Jake Klein on Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Back here at Gov Fuller Field, Chatham leads Falmouth 1-0, and Jake Klein takes over on the play-by-play mic.
All right, Chase. Falmouth right-hander Ryan Castillo comes back out, unblemished since the first inning, and he faces 6, 7, and 8 in the Chatham order, beginning with the lefty hitting Cole Johnson. Chatham in front 1-0. First pitch of the fourth. Breaking ball in the dirt. 1-0 on Johnson. Flied out to center in his first Cape League at bat last time up. Left a pair on base for the Commodores, or rather for the Anglers. Right-hander Castillo winds up. 1-0. In the dirt again. Bounces just in front of home plate. 77 miles per hour on the breaking ball. It's 2-0 on Johnson. Johnson was not a starter for Georgia in its run to the College World Series, but did play a pretty good amount as a freshman. 2-0, rip and a miss. Chases after a high fastball at 89. It's 2-1. Chase mentioned that Johnson played in 33 games. He hit .310 off the bench. 2-1, outside. 3 balls and a strike on the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, 33 games, but just 71 at-bats.
Dennis Cook expects him to be here the rest of the way for Chatham. 3-1, big cut and a miss. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Johnson.
And this is a great opportunity for him. Guy that didn't get a ton of playing time in the SEC at Georgia now has a chance to really get his feet under him.
Right-hander winds, payoff pitch. Just nicked foul at home plate. It rolls slowly toward the Falmouth dugout on the first base side. And the count stays 3-2 on Johnson. It's one of a couple of Georgia players who Chatham is expecting over the next couple of weeks. Fellow freshman outfielder Ty Peoples is another, along with veteran infielder Ryan Wynn. Payoff. Again, he taps it foul at home plate. This time it bounces off his leg. Johnson saunters around outside the lefty box, ready to dig back in for a third payoff pitch from the right-hander Castillo. Right-hander nods into the windup. 3-2. Lined into right center field, but right at Anthony Diaz, who makes the catch for the first out. Boy, Johnson smoked it, but the Falmouth defense hadn't played well. Just a step or so toward the left field side for the right fielder Diaz, and Johnson makes the grab.
Dennis Cook has talked about how this team's offense, he thinks a big part of it is the guys getting used to the wooden bats. Well, Cole Johnson not quite at that level, just his first 2 at-bats with the wood bats in the Cape League, so we'll see how he adjusts.
First pitch to Corbin Reynolds. Looping breaking ball misses high, 1-0. Reynolds struck out his first time up. Still in search of his first Cape League hit. Has reached base on a number of walks so far. Pitch, line foul to the backstop. 1-1 on him. Reynolds has walked 6 times with the A's. Here's the 1-1 pitch to him. Breaking ball, grounded fair, inside third and down the left field line. There's the first Chatham hit for Reynolds. He turns first and heads for second. The throw in from the corner cut off. Corbin Reynolds stands up with a 1-out double. Right on cue, Chase.
Well, it feels like every game we've mentioned the fact that Corbin Reynolds had yet to record his first Chatham hit. I mean, he'd reached base effectively in other ways. We mentioned the 6 walks, but yeah, there it is, his first Chatham hit, and he's in scoring position.
He's on second with 1 out. Bottom of the Chatham order in the next 2 hitters. The 8-hole hitter Lichtenberger digs in. Walked his first time up. First pitch, outside, 1-0. Lichtenberger at third base tonight after he spent most of the early part of the Chatham season at second. Little shakeup with Johnson in the lineup allowed Rob Rispoli to come in and play second. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball down and out, and Lichtenberger offers at it anyway. Ball and a strike on him. Reynolds on second with one out. Chatham ahead 1-0, top of the fourth at Gov Fuller Field. The A's unbeaten across their last 5 games. 1-1, swing and a miss. Castillo went back to the well with the low breaking ball and again got a cut and a miss. Castillo brings his glove to his shoulder, now to his belt as he comes set. Looks at second. 1-2 home. Fastball just off the plate away. Lichtenberger shakes his head and brushes dirt in the lefty box. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lights have come on at Gov Fuller Field. Still plenty of daylight. A cloudless pale blue sky overhead. American flag down the right field line whips right out toward right field. 2-2. Breaking ball grounded foul. Behind home plate offset toward the first base side. Stays 2 balls and 2 strikes on Tyler Lichtenberger. Most of the fans at Gov Fuller Field in the metal bleachers that rise up behind the Falmouth dugout on the first base side. Plenty more in chairs on the hill that extends down the right field line. Another 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Lichtenberger swings through 3 breaking balls in the at-bat. He goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning. And with a runner on second and 2 gone, it's up to the right-handed hitting 9-hole man, Caden Dosa, to get the runner in.
And you can tell a hitter's fooled when he lunges at a pitch. I mean, Lichtenberger well out in front of the breaking ball from Castillo.
Right-on-right matchup for Dosa. First pitch. Grounded sharply. Backhand stab at third by Schmidt. Long throw to first in time. Cal Schmidt gets a point from his pitcher, Ryan Castillo. He puts out the speedy Caden Dosa 5-3, and that ends the top of the fourth. Well, Reynolds doubles, but Lichtenberger strikes out and Dosa grounds out. No Chatham runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 man left on base. After 3.5 at Falmouth's Gov Fuller Field, it's Chatham 1 and Falmouth 0. You're listening to Chatham A's Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Fuller Field. Chatham 1, Falmouth 0 as the bottom of the 4th inning begins. Diamond side at Arnie Allen Diamond with Chase Abrams. I'm Jake Klein. Chatham right-hander Jack Oman is back out, trying to pull through a 5th inning of scoreless baseball on the mound. Excuse me, a 4th inning of scoreless baseball, and make it 9 scoreless innings to start his Cape League career, matching his teammate Angel Cervantes. who went 4 scoreless to extend his scoreless streak to 9. Right-on-right matchup. Omen against Ryder Woodson. First pitch to the cleanup man. Inside, 1-0. Woodson, then Ben Slanker and Carl Schmidt. Righty, lefty, righty against the righty Omen. The windup in the 1-0 pitch. Popped foul off the backstop netting. A ball and a strike. Omen entered the inning having thrown 52 pitches. The Falmouth starter Castillo ended the top of the 4th with 77. 1-1. Fastball called a strike, top of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Woodson. He struck out swinging his first time up. Recent addition to this Commodore lineup from Mississippi State. Omen's got him in a 1-2 count. The right-hander peers over his glove. The 1-2 in the dirt. Bounces just in front of home plate, and the count goes even on Woodson. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chatham threatened to extend the lead last half inning when Corbin Reynolds hit a 1-out double. Tyler Lichtenberger struck out, and Caden Dosa ground out, ended the A's threat. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball knocked foul in the air, out of play, first base side. Stays 2 balls and 2 strikes on Woodson. Omen gets a new baseball, picks up the rosin bag behind home plate. Shakes twice, a 3rd time. Now a 4th time. Finally gets what he wants from Harlan Hovatter, takes a deep breath, and readies for another 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Woodson down on strikes for the 2nd time today. Make it 8 strikeouts on the night from Jack Omen. His domination continues. And with 1 gone and nobody on, the left-handed hitting Ben Slanker comes to the plate. And Chase, you may have guessed, he is 0 for 1 with a strikeout tonight.
It was a tough guess. I really pulling out there and wanted to see if it would stick.
Right on left, Omen deals. Fastball bounces into home plate, 1-0.
I mean, this is just a dominant outing to start this game for Jack Omen.
The only real nitpick you could have with it is that the pitch count is maybe a little higher than you'd like through 3 1/3. 1-0. Fastball, lined foul over the Chatham dugout on the 3rd base side. Ball and a strike.
And that's the difference with his last start at Katuitt. I mean, he didn't strike out a lot of guys, but it meant that he got through the order so quickly because the Kettleers players were putting the ball in play. They were just hitting it softly right at Chatham players.
It's hard to complain about 8 strikeouts through 3 1/3. 1-1 to Slanker. Breaking ball just off the plate away. 2 balls and a strike. You know, Falmouth has made Omen work at points. Consecutive singles last inning. But he struck out Jackson to end the threat. Pitch. Chopped on the ground right side. Reynolds comes over from first. Is flipped to Omen, who runs to the bag in time, beating Slanker. 3-1 put out for the 2nd out here in the bottom of the 4th. Reynolds looked comfortable at first over there in his first game this summer.
Thinking the same thing, thinking the same thoughts as me, Jake. Not an easy play, the flip to the pitcher, because you got to flip towards the base. That's always what you got to remember. You don't flip at the player, you flip towards the base the player is running towards, and he led Omen to the bag.
Brings up the right-handed hitting Carl Schmidt. Omen winds, first pitch, popped foul to the backstop, 0-1. That was pitch number 63 from Omen, who's looking to complete 4 scoreless innings on the mound. Fastball velocity has remained in the 93 to 95 range. 0-1. Breaking ball popped up, straightaway center field. Dosa creeps in, now tracks back, drifting toward right field. He makes the catch for the final out. A 1-2-3 inning for Jack Oman. Strikeout, ground out, fly out. Nothing across for Falmouth in the bottom of the 4th. And with 4 innings in the books, the A's still in front, 1-0. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Chatham A's Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Like tell you about now, baby. You know she comes around. Just about 5 feet 4 from her head to the ground. You know she comes around here just about midnight. She make her feel so good, love. She make her feel alright. And her name is G. L. Whoa.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth with Chase Abrams. I'm Jake Klein. It's Chatham 1, Falmouth nothing as the 5th inning begins, and the Commodores make a Chatham Barzin call to the bullpen. Bring on the left-hander Cason Murphy. 5'10", 195-pound left-hand junior-to-be from Louisville, a native of Park Hills, Missouri. His first pitch to Rob Rispoli. Fastball called a strike, inner third, 0-1. 90 miles an hour out of the left hand of Murphy. He winds, 0-1. In the dirt, nearly hit Rispoli on a bounce. Sharp breaking ball, but he only threw it about 57 feet, and it's 1-1 on Rispoli. The starter Castillo went 2 times around the Chatham order. 4 innings, 3 hits. The pitch, down and in, 2-1. He allowed the 1 run, the only run of this game, but it was not earned. Castillo walked 1 and struck out 4. Considering the way it started, single E1 hit by pitch. He'll take that. 2-1. Fastball tails outside, 3-1. And the bases were loaded before Castillo even had an out.
It was his error that put Waters on base, and it's still an unearned run.
3-1. Line drive into shallow right field. Diaz comes in, and he makes the catch for the first out. Loses his hat in the process, but Rispoli put out on the 3-1 pitch. And there's 1 away. Cason Murphy picks up right where Castillo left off.
Now pitching for the Commodores and having faced the previous batter is a left-hander from Louisville, number 9, Cason Murphy.
So the public address announcer becomes aware of the pitching change, and the first pitch to Bino Waters is down and away, 1-0. We were on top of it, Chase.
Yeah, we were out in front. That's rare.
1-0, down and away. 2 balls, no strikes on Waters. Big left-handed hitter in the back of the box. The pitch popped foul. Behind home plate and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. Left-hander delivers. Popped up. Out of play behind home plate again. Count goes even on Waters. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Chatham was briefly without a third base coach for that pitch as Brett Doe walked from his third base coaching box back to the Chatham dugout to exchange a few words.
Pitch. High and tight on Waters. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the left-handed hitter. Count goes full. Lefty into the windup. Here's the 3-2. Knocked in the air, down the left field line. Slanker goes back. He pulls up in front of the fence and makes the catch. Waters hit it hard and high the opposite way, but Slanker had just enough room out there and left in front of the 10-foot-high outfield fence to run it down for the second out. Waters shakes his head as he jogs back to the third base side dugout.
Waters, a guy whose oppo power, a big reason why he was so coveted in the portal this past cycle. That's one where maybe if it was a metal bat, it gets out.
Left on right, first pitch to Connor Schaus. Fastball called a strike, outside corner. 0-1 on Schaus. Left-hander Murphy working with pace. His 0-1. Breaking ball loops onto the outside corner again.
Schaus kind of tilted his head back at the home plate umpire, J.C. Fernandez, after the last call.
Now the 0-2 in the dirt. 90-mile-per-hour fastball skips to the catcher, Dallas Brooks. A ball and 2 strikes. Second appearance for the left-hander Murphy. His first since opening day. 1-2. Grounded foul into the Falmouth dugout. Off the facing of the roof. Bounces back into the field of play. Schaus stays alive. Still a ball and 2 strikes. It's one of just 2 left-handed pitchers on this Falmouth staff. Murphy's 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A dominant first inning out of the Falmouth bullpen for Cason Murphy. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. He strikes out Connor Schaus to cap a scoreless top of the 5th. Halfway through the ball game from Gov Fuller Field, it's Chatham 1 and Falmouth nothing on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
The Cape's leader, sports radio play-by-play. Oh, A's, Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. Tommy's got his 6 string high. Now he's opening what he used to make it talk so tough. It's tough. She's running away. She cries in the night time. Baby, it's okay. Someday we gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a difference if we're making or not. We got each other, and that's a lot for love. We're giving it a shot. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer.
Back at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. You're listening to Chatham A's Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. So happy to have you along with us. With Chase Abrams, I'm Jake Klein. Jack Oman comes back to the mound for Chatham.
From New Mexico,
The Yale right-hander faces the bottom third of the Falmouth order. And he enters the inning ready to throw his 65th pitch of the evening. First pitch to the left-handed hitting Anthony Diaz. 0 for 1 today. On the way, downstairs 1-0. So you have to imagine, Chase, this is probably pretty much the end of the line for Oman.
You would think that. There's not a ton of action in the Chatham bullpen down the third base line, but I'll keep an eye down there.
Threw over 1,100 pitches at Yale this spring. 1-0, wave and a miss. A ball and a strike. There is somebody throwing down there in the Chatham bullpen behind the red outfield screen. Looks like the left-hander Josh Swink is up and moving around for the A's. Oman takes a deep breath. 1-1 pitch to Diaz. Up and away. 2-1 on the left-handed hitter. Diaz grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. Falmouth has mustered just 2 hits against righty Omen to this point. 2-1. Fastball called a strike. Low inside corner to the lefty. Count goes even 2-2. Omen sitting on 8 strikeouts in search of number 9. Shakes off, shakes again. Now gets what he wants, takes a deep breath. The windup, the 2-2 pitch. Fastball popped up. Out of play on the third base side. 92 miles an hour, so Omen's starting maybe to lose a little bit of juice on the fastball. Saw the first batter of the game, Austin Maley. He struck out with a fastball that was 95 on the left field radar gun at Gov Fuller Field. Right on left, the 2-2. In the dirt, check swing. Did he go? No, says the left side umpire Mike Hinojosa. And the count goes full on Anthony Diaz. Diaz can really run, not someone you want to put on base to lead off an inning. Can Omen finish him off and keep him off the base paths? Right-hander comes home. Payoff pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. First walk of the day issued by Jack Omen. And Falmouth has the game-tying run aboard with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. That walk is our free pass of the game presented by Cape Cod Community College. Go to Cape Cod Community College for free. Every program, no tuition or fees for those that qualify. Visit capecod.edu/free for more. So runner on first, nobody out. Right-handed hitting Nick Ventiker stands in. Omen's first pitch, squares to bunt, pick back to first. The ball gets away from Reynolds, the first baseman, but Rob Rispoli runs it down. Pitch was a fastball outside. And the throw from Hovatter was not necessarily off target, but mishandled at first from Corbin Reynolds. And the A's lucky that the runner at first, Diaz, didn't advance. Omen from the stretch, he picks to first, safe. No tag applied by Reynolds. Diaz back with a head-first dive. Diaz has stolen 2 bases in the early going for Falmouth. Not a team that has run a lot. 1-0, there he goes. Fastball tipped foul at home plate. Sends Diaz back to first.
Omen threw him a high fastball, which is a great pitch to throw when the other team's attempting a hit and run, because most of the time the hitter's just going to put that in the air or hit it on a line, which are both favorable outcomes for the defense on a hit and run.
Still a right-on-right matchup with Ventiker. Third baseman Lichtenberger in on the grass. 1-1 pitch. Squares to bunt, pulls back and takes up and in. 2-1. Jay Powell, the Chatham pitching coach, gets on the radio, communicating with the A's bullpen down the left field line. Josh Swink, the A's all-star reliever from a year ago, getting loose out there. Right on right, Omen against Ventiker. 2-1, runner goes, pitches a fastball, bunted down the first base line. Reynolds came off the bag, pitch to second, safe! Boy, there was just a mosh of Anglers players over on the right side. Nobody seemed sure who'd be the one to cover second. Reynolds, the first baseman, came in to field the ball, turned around to pitch it to Omen, and Rispoli was already there waiting for it, and the runner Ventiker beats it out.
And credit to Rispoli for even getting to the first base bag. I mean, Omen went for it, Reynolds went for it, and Rispoli recognized that, did get to first base in time, but the flip there just did not arrive in time.
Bjorn Johannesson waves his hat in the air toward the Chatham bullpen, asking if Swink is ready, and Swink is ready. The A's conference on the mound without a coach, but now Dennis Cook is up out of his chair, and they let Jack Omen face another hitter.
That would be a tough way for his day to end. It's been such a great day, just a softly hit bunt, just a soft single for Ventiker. Would be tough to see that be his last batter.
And here comes Dennis Cook to the mound. See if he lets Jack Omen finish it off. There is a lefty in the Chatham bullpen and a lefty at the plate. Cook looks towards the Chatham bullpen but doesn't yet signal. And he gathers up his infielders on the mound. And that's all for Jack Oman. The Yale right-hander comes out of the game in line for the win if Josh Swink can come in and preserve a 1-0 lead. Chatham in front, but Falmouth threatening in the bottom of the 5th. We'll be back in a moment with a Chatham Bars In call to the bullpen on the other side. A's 1, Commodores nothing. You're listening to it right here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Some stuck out as I go. I'm just traveling up the road. Maps don't do much for me, friend. I follow the weather and the wind. I'm hitchhiking all day long. Got what I can carry in my song. I'm a rolling stone just rolling on. Catch me now, 'cause tomorrow I'll be gone. Family man gives me a ride. Got his pregnant Sally at his side. Yes, indeed, so children are a gift. Thank you kindly for the lift. I'm hitchhiking all day long. Trucker gears his engine down. Says climb on up some highway bound.
Back at Gov Fuller Field, it's a Chatham Bars In call to the bullpen for the A's. They bring on the left-hander Josh Swink in a precarious situation. The A's lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th. But Falmouth has runners on first and second with nobody out. And Swink, a Cape League All-Star last summer, comes in to make his 3rd appearance of 2026 with the A's. Through 2 appearances, he's pitched 5 innings. He is 1-0, 6 strikeouts, no walks. He has allowed 4 hits across those 5 innings. Lefty sinker baller faces the left-handed hitting 9-hole hitter Dallas Brooks to start off his appearance. Anthony Diaz on second, Nick Ventiker on first. The game-tying and go-ahead runs respectively in this bottom of the 5th inning. Swink against Brooks. And he picks to second just to see if the batter would square, and Brooks did square around. So the A's bring both corner infielders in, Lichtenberger at third and Reynolds at first. Brooks singled his first time up against the starter Oman. First pitch, squares to bunt, pulls back and takes a sinker outside. 1-0 on Brooks. Top of the Falmouth order is on deck with Austin Maley, who's 0 for 2. Swink delivers. Brooks squares to bunt, pulls back and takes upstairs. 2-0. Swink had really his only bad outing of last summer here at Gov Fuller Field in his final outing when he blew a save and the A's fell 4-3 late. The pitch, fastball, bunted back to the mound. Swink picks it up, he turns and throws to first in time. The second baseman Rispoli was covering. And a successful sacrifice for Dallas. Brooks moves the runners to second and third with one out. As the leadoff man, Austin Maley, comes to the plate.
It's the old 1-4 putout.
So game-tying run on third, go-ahead run on second with one out. Third baseman is in. Everybody else in the Chatham infield is back. Left on right matchup, swing comes set. Here's his first pitch to Maley. Swung on and grounded, foul off the padded section of the brick backstop behind home plate. 0-1. Moderate distance behind home plate here at Gov Fuller Field. It's a little bit longer between mound and plate than it is between plate and backstop. 0-1. Breaking ball, broken bat flare over third into left field, a base hit. Diaz scores, Van Tyker rounds third. He scores standing. The batter, Maley, is caught in a rundown between first and second. Rispoli throws to first. The ball gets away. It rolls toward the Falmouth dugout, and the runner stays at first. A two-run single for Austin Maley puts Falmouth in front. 2-1 Commodores, bottom five. Dennis Cook shouts, "Play baseball," to his team. Just a broken bat looper over the head of the third baseman, Lichtenberger. He had no chance to catch it, nor did the left fielder Waters. Just dunked in by the left field line, and in a moment, this game has turned on its head. Jack Oman responsible for both runs. He is now in line for the loss, and Falmouth is in front. Runner on first, one out. Lefty hitting Fabio Peralta stands in. First pitch cut on and missed. 0-1. Left on left. Swink stares at the runner at first. Now directs his attention home and pitches. Breaking ball. Check swung on. It tips off the catcher Hovatter's mitt, rolls to the backstop, and the runner advances to second. They rule no swing from the batter Peralta, so the count goes to 1-1 on the left-handed hitter. Wild pitch moves another runner into scoring position. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 89 on the sinker from Swink. It's 1-2. Chase has a check of Major League Baseball scores presented by Mahi Gold Outfitters.
Marlins beat the Rangers at home 4-2. Cubs take down the Mets at a Citi Field that was packed with World Cup fans. That was 10-3.
1-2. Nicked foul at home plate off the catcher Hovatter. Stays a ball and two strikes on the left-handed hitting Peralta.
White Sox down to their last ABs. Just tied the game at 3-3 in the bottom of the ninth against the Guardians. Red Sox, that is, fell to the Rockies at Coors Field 8-6. Angels beat the Orioles 7-6 at home. Jake, your Yankees are beating the Tigers 2-1 on the road.
Swing comes set. Here's his 1-2. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Turning into a nightmare inning for the A's. They've surrendered the lead. Falmouth scores its first 2 runs of the game on the 2-run single by Maley, who's now on second with 1 away. And the count 2-2 on Peralta. Swing ready, he pitches. Lined, foul down the left field line. Out of play into the trees it goes.
Phillies trailing the Nationals 2-0, fresh off of the 8-run inning with 2 outs in the bottom or the top of the ninth last night.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Fabio Peralta, the 2-hole hitter. 1 for 2 against the starter Oman. Another 2-2. Up and away, 3-2. The momentum of this game has really unraveled. Chatham scored a run 4 batters in and has done next to nothing offensively since then. Meanwhile, Commodores have taken the lead. The 3-2 popped foul.
You're talking about momentum. It felt like Castillo with the bases loaded and nobody out, that was when he really settled in, and that's kind of where the momentum stopped for Chatham. I mean, the sac fly from Neville, really the last time Chatham hitter did something productive at the plate today.
It really felt miraculous at the time that Castillo could escape that jam with just one allowed. 3-2, fastball down and away, ball 4. The inning for Chatham has now gone walk, single, sacrifice, bunt, single, walk. Not the way they drew it up, and there are runners on first and second with one away. For the 3-hole hitter, Riley Jackson.
The pitch from Swink was both down and away. Hovander tried to frame it. He brought it back towards the center of the plate, but he didn't bring the pitch up. So it looked like even the frame that he held for an extra second would still have been called the ball had the pitch come in there.
Double play is back in order for the A's with the left-handed sinker baller Swink on the mound. First pitch to Jackson. Fastball called a strike, top of the zone. 0-1. Well, no matter how much damage Falmouth ends up doing in the inning, the A's will have to score at least a run. 0-1 downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. That is, if Chatham has any interest in picking up a point tonight at Gov Fuller Field. And there could be ramifications on the East Division standings if they can do that. Get you a check of Cape League scores next half inning. 1-1. Outside. 2 balls and a strike on Jackson. Swink has struggled to find the zone, surrendering the go-ahead 2-run single and then the walk on his 2 batters faced. Left-hander looks at second. Comes home 2-1. Swing and a miss. Sinker at 91. It's 2-2. Jackson K'd twice against the starter Oman, who struck out 8, but came out for a 5th inning, walked the first batter he faced, and then the next single, they both ended up scoring once Swink came into the game. Left on right, 2-2 to Jackson. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jackson down on the strikeout for the 3rd time today. Swink picks up the 2nd out of the inning, and Chatham is an out away from escaping the inning without further damage as the right-handed hitting cleanup man Ryder Woodson comes to the plate. He too has K'd twice today. Falmouth 2, Chatham 1, bottom of the 5th. Commodores have first and second, 2 out, first pitch. Up and in on the righty. He spins out of the way of the breaking ball at 77.
Yeah, Woodson read that out of the hand very late. Spun out of the way just in the nick of time.
Swink set again, he deals. Fastball knocked foul into the backstop netting. Count goes even, a ball and a strike. 2 hits in the inning have not only jolted the Commodores in front 2-1 on the scoreboard, but also 4-3 in the hit column. Chatham does not have a hit since the 4th inning double by Corbin Reynolds. 1-1. Popped up. Shallow right field. Johnson jogs in. Rispoli goes out. Johnson makes the call and the catch to end the inning. But Falmouth takes the lead. The 2-run single by Austin Maley, the big blow. He drives in Diaz and Ventiker and gives Falmouth the lead. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. This game has flipped on its head after 5 innings of play. Falmouth in front 2-1 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air.
I got so down and out in Frisco, tired of the pills and the rain. I picked up headed for the sunshine. I left a good thing behind. Seemed all of our love was in vain. Now my baby's coming in on the Tucson train. explain. Now that voice that keeps me awake at night, one little piece would make everything right. If I could just turn off my brain. But now my baby's coming in on the Tucson train.
Kason Murphy returns to the mound for Falmouth, and suddenly he's pitching with a lead. 2-1, the Commodores lead the A's as the sixth inning begins, and his first pitch to Cooper Neville is a breaking ball cut on and missed. 0-1. Left-hander Murphy with a 1-2-3 inning last half inning, and he deals to Neville down and away. 1-1. Pitches with great pace. Got 2 flyouts and a strikeout, and he came in for the starter Castillo last inning. 1-1, down and away. 2 balls and a strike. Neville nods approvingly as he backs out of the box. Digs back in, looks at the pitcher. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss at a low fastball. Would have been ball 3. Instead, it's 2-2. Murphy works so fast, you have to slow him down. And Neville's doing that by stepping out of the box and looking only at the Chatham dugout until he's ready for the pitch. 2-2. Breaking ball downstairs, a sharp breaking ball just below the knees, and the count goes full.
We saw Hyannis do something similar against Chatham starter Oliver Pudvar, who also works very quickly, also from the left side.
Full count pitch from Murphy. Up and in, ball 4. Neville works a walk, his second of this Cape League season, and second in as many days. He is aboard first as the game-tying run to lead off the 6th. It's really all you can do against a pitcher who's working so fast like Murphy is. But the onus is on the batter, because the pitcher can't go until the batter makes eye contact with them. Part of the new pitch clock rules. Left-on-left matchup, Murphy against Harlan Hovatter. First pitch to Hovatter, up and in. 1-0.
And I'm a fan of pitchers working fast, because I think it does give the pitcher that little bit of momentum that can help a whole lot in the game.
Yeah, as long as you're in control, it should be an advantage. 1-0 pitch. Tapped foul on the ground toward the Falmouth dugout first base side. 1-1 on Hovatter. Of course, if you're just flying through and not throwing strikes or rushing things, it can hurt you. 1-1. Downstairs. Blocked by the catcher Brooks. Keeps the runner Neville at first. Yeah. 2 balls and a strike.
It's those types of situations where you maybe want to slow yourself down a little bit. And Murphy just did so, stepped off the mound, readjusted his hat for a second.
Left-hander comes set. 2-1. Popped up. Out of play behind home plate. Neville on first has 4 stolen bases on 5 tries this summer. Represents the game-tying run here in the top of the 6th. Takes his lead off from first with no outs. 2-2 to Hovatter. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Runner goes, throw to second, not in time. It skips into center field. Neville goes up. He gets to third base standing. So Hovatter strikes out looking, but Neville steals second and advances on the E2. And Chatham now has the game-tying run 90 feet away with 1 gone.
Neville, when he was running to third, was looking straight back at center field as he was doing so. Not typically something a coach wants you to do, or really a comfortable position for a runner to be looking straight behind you as you're running forwards, but he had plenty of time to get to third.
First pitch to Cole Johnson. Fastball drilled into the right center field gap. Diaz runs over. The center fielder Peralta makes the catch. Neville tags from third. The throw in rolls to the plate. Neville scores standing. The A's have tied the game. Cole Johnson evens things up at 2 with a sacrifice fly. His first Chatham run batted in. Makes it 2-2 in the top of the 6th.
Now batting for the Anglers, the first baseman.
Well, Chase, they did it without a hit, but Chatham manufactures a run with the help of the E2 in there and ties this thing up 2-2.
And that's what you've got to do.
Brings up Reynolds. First pitch, flared foul, out of play, right side. No balls and a strike. Get a check of Cape League scores. Presented as always, first the 0-1, down and in. Now let's take a look at the scores across the Cape, presented by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism.
Yarmouth Dennis continues rolling up 8-1 at Brewster in the bottom of the 9th inning right now.
1-1 to Reynolds. Down and in, it hit him. Got him on the back right foot, and Corbin Reynolds takes first base on the hit by pitch. Chatham now has the go-ahead runner on first with 2 out.
Wareham beating Harwich 2-1. Hyannis down 3-0 at Orleans. Bourne and Catuit 3-3 Bourne tied with Catuit 1-1 in the bottom of the 3rd.
So if Yarmouth Dennis does hang on to beat Brewster, and it seems it will, the A's with a win today could pull within a point of second place Brewster. First pitch to Lichtenberger, upstairs 1-0. More importantly, eyes are on the game at White House Field, where, as Chase mentioned, Wareham has a 2-1 lead over Harwich. The A's are only a point back of the Mariners entering the day for 3rd place in the East. Harwich does have a game in hand. 1-0 upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. And that game in hand goes away after the Mariners play the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Thursday. Guess that would be tomorrow.
Correct.
In a rain makeup. Warning for the pitcher, as he did not establish eye contact with the left-handed hitter Lichtenberger. So Murphy steps off ahead of the 2-2. Runner on first, 2 out. Tie ball game, top of the 6th. 2-0 pitch. Up and in. 3-0. Suddenly Murphy having trouble commanding the zone.
And suddenly he's working a little bit slower.
Takes a deep breath, nods at his catcher, Brooks. Comes set. 3-0 to Lichtenberger. Outside, ball 4. A hit by pitch and a walk. Have 2 on with 2 out for Caden Dosa, the 9-hole hitter.
Good job here, kid.
Now batting for the Anglers, the center fielder from Yale, number 22.
Before the pitch,
Caden
Paul
Dosa.
Evans, the Falmouth pitching coach, lumbers out to the mound. There's nobody up in the Commodore bullpen down the right field line. So this, unlike what Chatham did in the last half inning, is no stall tactic. Paul Evans really wants to chat with his Louisville left-hander.
I mean, it will give time for someone to get warming in that Falmouth bullpen, but it wasn't really as obvious, or I don't know if egregious is the right word, as what Chatham did to take out Jack Oman, where the entire infield gathered and then left, and then Dennis Cook went back out, and then he signaled towards his bullpen just to give Josh Swink enough time to warm up.
Now there is a righty who has just now begun throwing as Paul Evans walks off back toward the first base dugout. So the end could be near for Cason Murphy, as Caden Dosa steps to the plate with a chance to give the A's the lead. 2-2, top of the 6th. First and second, 2 out. Left on right, first pitch. Breaking ball outside. 6 balls in a row out of the hand of the lefty Murphy. Reynolds off of second. Lichtenberger off of first with 2 gone. 1-0 to Dosa. Fastball called a strike, inner third. 1-1 on the right-handed hitter. Dosa's 0 for 2. He blooped to right into a fielder's choice and grounded to third. Murphy's 1-1. Grounded on one hop, picked at short. Long throw goes to first, not in time. Dosa beat it out. Woodson came up with the one-hopper on a backhand pick. He tried to go to second. It was too late. His only option was first, and Dosa beats it out for an infield single. He puts the speed to use, and the bases are loaded for Rob Rispoli.
This was not a slow bouncing ball to short. Dennis Cook talks so much about how he tried to recruit more speed this summer. Dosa exemplifies that, and he beat out the infield single on a hard-hit low-line drive.
Bases loaded, 2 out for Rispoli. First pitch, right down the chute at 90 miles an hour. Called a strike, it's 0-1. Rispoli singled on a 3-1 pitch to lead off the game. Since then, he's flied twice to right. 0-1. Popped up, first base side, twisting toward the sidewall. Jackson runs over. It lands in play right next to him, but he was too busy crashing into the wall and didn't catch it.
And that could be something that, I don't know what happens next, but if Rispoli drives in a runner, that's a play that we look back on.
It was as if he just wanted to crash into the wall because he thought it would be fun, and he ignored the ball that landed right next to him.
Credit to you, Jake, because when I saw him crash into the wall, I just assumed it was out of play, and I looked down.
0-2 to Rispoli. Upstairs, 1-2. You're right, Chase. If Rispoli comes up with a hit here, or Chatham can get the go-ahead run in, that could loom large. 1-2. Lined into right center field. Diaz on the run. He makes the catch in the gap to end the inning. Rispoli hit it on the screws, but Anthony Diaz runs it down, and Chatham leaves them loaded in the top of the 6th. But the A's tie the game. They get a run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 3 left on base. Chatham can't quite capitalize, but has evened things up 2 apiece onto the bottom of the 6th on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air.
Well, it was nearly summer. We sat under a roof. Yeah, we smoked cigarettes and we stared at the moon. And I showed you stars you never could see. But it couldn't have been that easy to forget about me. Maybe time meant nothing, anything seemed real. Yeah, you could just like fire when you made me feel. Like every word you said was meant to be. But it couldn't have been that easy to forget about me. Maybe even the losers.
This is Robert Spoli from University of Connecticut. You're listening to the Chatham A's Baseball with Chase Abrams and Jake Klein on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Back at Gulf Fuller Field in Falmouth. Chatham has tied the game at 2 in the top of the 6th, and on to the bottom half, where Josh Swink comes back to the mound for the A's to face 5, 6, and 7. Ben Slanker, Carl Schmidt, and Anthony Diaz, lefty, righty, lefty, in the Falmouth order. 2 runs, 4 hits apiece. No errors for Chatham, 2 for Falmouth. And the lefty Swink steps to the plate.
The left fielder from Louisville, number 41, Ben Slanker.
Swink ready. Left on left. First pitch of the bottom of the 6th. Here it comes. Laced into left center field. Dosa on the run. He makes the catch in the gap. 1 gone on 1 pitch in the bottom of the 6th for Josh Swink.
More Josh.
The 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Falmouth order are now a combined 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts.
The third baseman from California.
The rest of the lineup, the first 2, really the last 3, have been the 5 who have done the damage. Brings up Carl Schmidt, the 6-hole hitter, who's 0 of 2. First pitch, up and away, 1-0. If you loop Schmidt in, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the Falmouth order are 0 of 11. 1-0. Fastball just off the plate away. 2 balls, no strikes. It's basically the same way in the A's order. No hits, 4, 5, and 6. 2-0. Popped foul. Right side out of play. Johnson gives it a look. Bounces into the bleachers that run down the right field side.
No hits for 4, 5, and 6 in the Chatham order, but Cooper Neville batting cleanup does have credit for both Chatham runs. Sack fly, and he scored the second one.
And Johnson, the 6-hole hitter, drove in that second run. 2-1 to Carl Schmidt. Here it comes. Up and away again. That's been the spot when Swink has missed. 3 balls and a strike on Schmidt. Anthony Diaz waits on deck. He scored the first of 2 Falmouth runs in the last inning. He's a left-handed hitter. Swink comes to a set. Looks in. 3-1. Fastball called a strike outside corner. Schmidt began the process of tossing his bat toward the Falmouth dugout. Count goes full. 3-2. Lights just now starting to take effect. Still plenty of daylight left above Gov Fuller Field. Payoff pitch. Line foul into the parking lot of the police station adjacent to the first base line at Gov Fuller Field. Count stays full. Schmidt has grounded to short and flied to center, both against the starter Oman. Faces the reliever Swink for the first time. 3-2. Up and away, ball 4. Second walk out of the Chatham bullpen for Josh Swink, and Falmouth again gets the go-ahead run on base. This time it's with 1 out, and it brings up the left-handed hitting New Mexico right fielder Anthony Diaz. And Jay Powell, who just cracks me up, he calls out every time he does it, "Timeout, Mr. Ump." And he gets timeout from Mr. Ump. The Chatham pitching coach walks to the mound and gathers the entire A's infield.
If it ain't broke for Jay Powell, don't fix it. I mean, that's just his charm. That's his humor. Wonder if he did that in his playing career as well.
I want to say we asked him last year, and he said, yeah, that's just what he calls the umpire, Mr. Ump.
It's a sign of respect. It's a title of respect.
There is action in the Chatham bullpen behind the left field fence. Swink has a runner on first with 1 out as the mound visit breaks up and Diaz steps in. Powell, the Chatham pitching coach, former World Series champion reliever. First pitch to Diaz. Fastball right on the outer third, 90 miles an hour, 0-1. Powell and Dennis Cook met when they were major league teammates. Won the 97 World Series together for the Marlins. Pick to first, safe, Schmidt back standing up. No tag applied by the first baseman Reynolds. And in Game 7 of that World Series, Jay was the winning pitcher. 0-1 inside on the lefty. 1 ball and 1 strike. Another sinker from Swink. 1-1.
Down the hill.
Quick and accurate, Harlan. Quick and accurate. Right here.
Deep breath in the 1-1 pitch. Diaz squares to bunt, pops it foul down the first base line. He caught the A's by surprise. Boy, did he. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
If Lichtenberger was playing in like maybe he should have been, he might have been able to catch that ball before it hit the grass. 2 strikes now, though, so bunt probably out of the equation.
Schmidt off of first, the go-ahead run. 1 out. 1-2 on Diaz. Swink comes home. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A big second strikeout for the Chatham reliever, Josh Swink. It's the second out of the inning. And now Nick Ventiker strides to the plate. The Creighton second baseman is 1 of 2. He singled and came around to score last half inning. Schmidt leads off of first, now 2 away. 2-2 tie, bottom of the 6th. First pitch from Swink. Ventiker swings and laces it foul toward the Falmouth bullpen down the right field line. There is a right-hander down there who has now stopped throwing and appears ready to enter the game. When the Chatham Bats come up to the plate next half inning, it'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the A's order. Left-hander swing set. Oh, and he picks to first. I was ready to say,
I know.
1, and he didn't.
Oh, and a pick to first.
Well, he fooled me with the pickoff move.
Did not fool the runner.
Yeah, that's why. That's one of many reasons I'm not the base runner on first. Picks again, and again, the runner back standing.
Weren't fooled that time, Jake.
I'm all over it. 0-1.
Fool me
remains
once.
the count on Ventiker. Swing home. Fastball knocked foul down the right field line. Johnson gave it a run, but it lands in the Falmouth bullpen. No balls and 2 strikes on Ventiker. Both starters get a no decision tonight. Jack Oman left in line for the win, and by the end of the 5th inning was in line for the loss. Chatham got him off the hook when they tied the game at 2 in the top of the 6th. That's where we stand. Falmouth has a runner on first, 2 out, 0-2 to Ventiker. Fastball just inside.
Great pitch, kid.
Some groans from the Chatham dugout, but the home plate umpire J.C. Fernandez gestures that it missed inside to the righty. Goes to 1-2. Swing comes set. He deals. Fastball lined into right field, a base hit. Runner from first, Schmidt, stops at second. The throw goes into the cutoff man. It's a 2-out single for Nick Ventiker, who's got a couple of hits in as many innings. And there are runners on first and second now for the Commodores. Still 2 out. And the lefty hitting 9-hole man, Dallas Brooks.
This will be Swink's last batter of this game, Jake. Pretty much no matter what, I'd have to assume. If he gets him out, he comes out when Chatham hits. If not, the righty comes in to face the top of the Falmouth order.
The leadoff man on deck, Maley, is a righty. First pitch to the lefty, Brooks. Fastball low, 1-0. 91 on the sinking fastball.
A little extra giddy up.
Chatham has shifted the shortstop, Neville, almost directly behind the second base bag. 1-0. Fastball called a strike, low outside corner, 1-1. Now Brooks was the first batter to face Swink out of the Chatham bullpen, but he was sacrificed bunting all the way. Eventually got it down, 1-4 put out, set up the go-ahead single by Maley. 1-1, breaking ball down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Harlan, is that off?
Come on, Swing, come baby. Get your ground ball second right here. Come on.
Schmidt off of second, Ventiker off of first with 2 away. Swink looks back at second. 2-1 pitch. Fastball drilled into the left center field gap. Waters and Dosa sprint over. Dosa dives, can't get it. It rolls up against the fence. Schmidt scores. Here comes Ventiker. Throw to the plate. Held by Neville. It's a 2-out, 2-run double for Dallas Brooks, and Falmouth makes it 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th. Just a rough go for Josh Swink in his 3rd outing of the Cape League season, and that's all she wrote for him. Swink allows the go-ahead 2-run single to Austin Maley in the bottom of the 5th. Chatham ties the game, and Swink allows the go-ahead 2-run double to Dallas Brooks in the 6th. Chatham will need another Chatham Bars in call to the bullpen to get out of the 6th inning. The new reliever comes on with a runner on second and 2 out when we return. Falmouth 4, Chatham 2, still in the bottom of the 6th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I find it very, very easy to be true. I find myself alone when each day's through. Yes, I'll admit that I'm a fool for you. Because you're mine, I walk the line. As sure as night is dark and day is light, I keep you on my mind both day and night. And happiness I've known proves that it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Chatham bars in, called to the bullpen. Josh Swink cannot get through the sixth for Chatham. Falmouth has gone ahead 4-2, and the A's bring in Mississippi State right-hander Jack Gleason for his Cape League debut. 6'1", 200-pound sophomore to be for the Bulldogs, a native of Rome, Georgia, who was added to the A's roster 3 days ago. And after he pitched to a 5.13 ERA in 26 innings as a freshman for Mississippi State, he makes his first appearance for the A's, with Chatham having just given up the lead. Now down 4-2 in the bottom of the sixth, with a runner on second, 2 men out, and the top of the order coming up for Falmouth, the right-handed hitting Austin Maley. 4-pitch mix for Gleason, heavy usage on the fastball. First pitch is the fastball, 88 miles an hour. Low and away to the righty, 1-0. Throws the fastball about 75% of the time. He's also got a slider, curveball, and a changeup. 1-0 to Gleason, or from Gleason, down and away. 2 balls, no strikes on Maley. Singled in the first 2 Falmouth runs last time up. Gleason out of the stretch with a runner on second and 2 out. Deals 2-0. Fastball sawed off. Foul ball in the air behind home plate, out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike on the right-handed hitting Maley. 1 of 3. The aforementioned single plus a pop out to left and a strikeout swinging. Right on right, Gleason comes home. Breaking ball outside, 3-1. Walks were really not much of an issue for Gleason as a redshirt freshman this past year at Mississippi State. He struck out 42, only walked 12. Behind his first Cape League hitter, 3 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch to Maley. Fastball knocked foul into the backstop netting, and the count goes full on the right-handed hitter. Opponents hit .211 against the righty Gleason at Mississippi State this past season. Across 23 appearances, he went 4-1. Payoff pitch. Fastball, high, check swing, no swing on appeal, says the first base umpire Glenn Stewart. And Jack Gleason walks the batter. Now runners are on first and second with 2 out, and the left-handed hitting 2-hole man Fabio Peralta steps to the plate. Over the first 4 innings of this game, Chatham starter Jack Oman did not walk a batter. Over the last inning and 2/3, Chatham pitchers have walked 4 Falmouth batters. First pitch, breaking ball, misses inside of the lefty, 1-0. Brooks gives Falmouth the 2-1 lead here, 2-run lead, 4-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. 1-0 to Peralta. Upstairs, 2-0. Eight pitches thrown by Gleason in his Cape League debut. 6 of them have missed the zone. The pitch, down and away, 3-0. Gleason having massive command troubles early in his first outing with the A's. He steps off the mound, takes a deep breath, and readies for a 3-0 pitch to Peralta. A ball would load the bases with 2 out. Here it comes. Downstairs, a 4-pitch walk. Brooks goes to third, Maley up to second. Peralta takes first on his second walk in as many innings, and now the bases are loaded for Riley Jackson, the 3-hole hitter, as the Chatham infield gathers on the mound.
Command has been an issue for the Chatham bullpen numerous times this season. Dennis Cook has told you on multiple occasions, Jake, how much he just wants his bullpen to throw strikes.
Really, his pitchers in general, that's always been what Dennis Cook has said, and it's always been what's effective in the Cape League. I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum, I think.
The first baseman from Houston, number 12, Riley Jackson.
Jackson stands in against the right-hander Gleason as the conversation on the mound is broken up by the home plate umpire J.C. Fernandez. Bases loaded, 2 out. First pitch. Grounded to Lichtenberger. He traps it at third, steps third in time. He got there just before Maley, the runner coming from second, got to the base. So Jackson grounds out, 5 unassisted on the fielder's choice, and Gleason, after the 2 walks, does get out of the inning, but not before Falmouth strikes for 2 runs on 2 hits, 3 walks in the inning, no errors, and the bases left loaded. After 6 innings, Falmouth is back on top. It's the Commodores 4 and the Anglers 2. On to the 7th on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air.
Sun coming up over New York City. School bus driver in a traffic jam, staring at the faces in a rearview mirror, looking at the promise of the promised land. One kid dreams of fame and fortune. One kid helps pay the rent. One could end up going to prison. One just might be president.
Back at Gov Fuller Field, on to the 7th we go, and Falmouth has taken a 4-2 lead over Chatham. Left-hander back out, first pitch to Bino Waters, down and away. Ball and no strikes on Waters. He's 0 for 3 today, reached on an error in the first. He's also grounded to short and fly to left. 1-0, down and away. 2-0. Falmouth sticks with Kaysen Murphy, who walked 2 batters and hit another in the last half inning. 2-0, drilled foul on a line left side and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. In the the top of the 6th, Murphy walked Neville. He stole second, went to third on an error. 2-1. Called a strike, top of the zone to Waters. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And then Cole Johnson drove in what was at the time the game-tying run with a sacrifice fly. Falmouth undid that with 2 runs in the bottom. 2-2. Breaking ball upstairs. Count goes full on Waters, 3-2. Now, there was a right-hander getting ready in the Falmouth bullpen, perhaps the lefty just on to face Waters. 3-2, popped up, right center field, into the gap. Now Diaz tracking it back in front of the wall. The center fielder, Peralta, makes the catch on the run. Waters hits it almost all the way to the fence in right center, but Peralta tracks it down. The 3-2 pitch turns into a fly out for Waters, who's now 0 for 4. And Connor Schaus comes to the plate for the A's. Jack Dahm not going to make the change yet. Sticks with the lefty Murphy against the right-handed hitting Schaus. First pitch, breaking ball called a strike. High outside corner to the righty. Schaus grimaces at J.C. Fernandez behind the plate. 0-1. Another breaking ball, this one way outside. 1-1. Here's the pitch. Fastball called a strike in her third. 1-2 on Schaus. 4 hits for the A's. Dosa's infield single last inning. Their only one since the 4th. 1-2. Grounded foul wide of the first base coaching box toward the end of the Falmouth dugout. Stays 1-2 on Connor Schaus. Schaus has a hit of his own tonight in the third on what could have been ruled an error. 1-2. Fastball apparently down and in. Virtually everybody in the ballpark thought that was going to be a called strike 3, including the Falmouth dugout with a number of great spot or great pitch shouts. 2-2, hit him. Got Schaus in the front left foot as he tried to dive out of the way of it. It was a breaking ball that Murphy spiked. So a hit by pitch. The second in the last 6 batters faced by the Falmouth lefty. Puts a runner on first and brings the game-tying run to the plate in the form of Cooper Neville. Left-handed hitting A's shortstop tonight is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He's got a sacrifice fly, a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. Pick to first, safe. Schaus back standing. Neville does have a home run. Hit it Sunday in Hyannis. First pitch. Fastball down and away, 1-0. He's in the cleanup hole tonight. Has not been a huge power hitter for Chatham to this point this season, but slugged .500 at Dallas Baptist this past season. Pick to first, again Schaus back standing. Runner leads off of first, 1-0. Fastball smoked on the ground, foul right side. Toward the end of the A's dugout. Count goes even, 1-1 on Neville. Yesterday, Neville 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Tied that game at 1 and eventually finished 2-2. Here's the 1-1 pitch his way. Down and away. 2 balls and a strike. Harlan Hovatter waits on deck. Left-handed hitter himself is 0 for 3. First, a 2-1 pitch to Neville. Lefty Murphy deals. Chopped foul, first base side again, toward the end of the Commodore dugout. Count goes even, 2-2 on Neville. Runner on first, 1 out. Falmouth 4, Chatham 2, top of the 7th at Gov Fuller Field. Commodores 8 outs away from snapping Chatham's 5-game unbeaten streak. Pick to first, safe. Schaus back standing again. Lefty Murphy readies. 2-2 pitch. Drilled down the right field line. Will it stay fair? No. It twists foul, easily home run distance off of Neville's bat. But it drifts probably 30 feet or so wide of the foul pole down the right field line. And everybody collectively held their breath. But it goes foul and the count stays 2-2.
Oh, it was crushed, but I think Neville knew it immediately the second he hit it that it wasn't going to be staying fair.
Another 2-2. Breaking ball called, strike 3. Neville down, looking, 2 gone.
Tough two-pitch sequence as a hitter, really. Get a home run foul, and then you're down looking on the next pitch.
Brings up the left-handed hitting Harlan Hovander, still representing the game-tying run. Chatham down to its final 7 outs now, and there's still a runner on first. Schaus with 2 gone. Hovander 0 for 3. First pitch, fastball upstairs, 1-0. Murphy continues to work out of the Commodore bullpen. He's thrown 61 pitches. Number 62 on the way. Grounded fair over the head of the first baseman Jackson on a hop. It rolls down the right field line. Schaus turns around second. He goes to third. Hovander stops at first with a Baltimore chop single. And there are runners on the corners with 2 outs. The A's bring the go-ahead run to the plate. Just bounced it clean over Jackson's head. He never had a shot at it.
Harlan Hovander has been so consistent for Chatham this summer. He's putting the ball in play, and when you do that, good things happen. The numbers won't tell you he's been hitting the ball crazy hard, but he reaches base and hits like that. Now Chatham's got runners on the corners.
He's the game-tying run at first with 2 out. Left-on-left matchup for Cole Johnson. First pitch, down and away, 1-0. Johnson is 0 of 2 with a sacrifice fly and an RBI. So 3 fly balls off his bat today. 1-0. Fastball called a strike. Outer third. 1-1. 2 of those fly balls have really been hit hard. If he could tee off on one, he could give the A's the lead. Trailing by 2 in the top of the 7th. 1-1. Breaking ball fisted in the air on the infield. The shortstop Woodson walks in and makes the catch to end the inning. Chatham strands runners on the corners, and after 6 1/2, the A's still trail by 2. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 men left on base. To the bottom of the 7th at Gov Fuller Field.
Sports Radio play-by-play. Chatham A's on the air. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never go back. And if I don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause there's a 1, 2, or 3 strikes till I'm at the old ball game.
Back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 4-2 is the Falmouth lead as this game marches on from Gov Fuller Field to the bottom of the 7th. Chatham had a chance to cut into the lead or possibly tie the game or take the lead last half inning, but the A's stranded runners on the corners when Cole Johnson popped out to short. Right-hander Jack Gleason comes back out. First full inning of work out of the Chatham bullpen. He faced 3 hitters in his Cape League debut last half inning. Walk, ground out to third, left the bases loaded, and kept the deficit at 2 for the A's. Faces his Mississippi State teammate Ryder Woodson, the cleanup hitter for Falmouth. First pitch, breaking ball down and away, skips past the glove of Hovander to the backstop, 1-0. Commodores out hitting the A's 6-5. 2 Falmouth errors, none for Chatham. 1-0. Breaking ball down and away. 2-0.
Right there, kid.
Nobody on, nobody out. 4-2 Falmouth, bottom of the 7th. Gleason set his 2-0. Fastball misses inside, 3 straight balls to start the at-bat. Gleason has thrown 14 pitches, 3 for strikes. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Fastball called a strike, top of the zone. So now just more than a fifth of his pitches for strikes so far.
He's got a ways to go before you're at a good percentage.
3-1. Fastball check swing, bounced foul. Screamer toward the on-deck circle, where Ben Slanker gets out of the way of it. Gleason has battled back to even the count 3-2. Right-hander gets the pitch call, comes to his set. Black glove at the belt, kicks the left leg and deals. Line drive up the middle into center field, a base hit. Ryder Woodson leads it off with a single, and Falmouth has a potential insurance run aboard to lead off the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting for the Commodores.
Left-handed hitting Ben Slanker comes in.
Number 41, Ben Slanker.
Louisville left fielder is 0 of 3. He struck out, grounded to first, and also lined to center. Right on left matchup, Gleason comes to a stop. First pitch, right down the middle, called a strike, 0-1, and Gleason ahead of the hitter for the first time. Oh and 1 on Slanker, who wiggles his natural grain bat. 0-1. Tapped foul. Hovatter gloves it just a step or so behind home plate. Count goes to 0-2 on Slanker.
Yeah, Hovatter staying fresh back there, staying warmed up.
Action has again halted in the Falmouth bullpen down the right field line. Will they stick with the lefty Cason Murphy again next half, inning over 60 pitches in? We'll find out. First and 0-2. Line foul. Stays no balls and 2 strikes on Slanker. And maybe for Jack Dahm, the Falmouth manager, it depends on if his Commodores can add some insurance here. If it's a 2-run game, a 3-run game, or greater, it could change his approach pitching-wise. 0-2. Breaking ball, reached and tapped out to second. Neville fields it at short on the base. Throw to first. In time, a double play. 6-3. Neville does it himself by second and throws out Slanker. That's the Skin in the Game highlight of the game, brought to you by locally owned Contemporary Dermatology, a leading provider of comprehensive dermatology services, including medical dermatology, skin cancer diagnosis, and treatment with aesthetic services, with offices in Hyannis, Marston's Mills, and Plymouth. Cooper Neville has Skin in the Game. First pitch to the right-handed hitting Carl Schmidt upstairs, 1-0. Schmidt today has scored a run after he walked in the 6th, but he is 0 for 2. 1-0. Breaking ball down and away, 2-0.
Here we go.
Command has been a struggle for Gleason in his first Cape League outing. Came in with Chatham already having fallen behind 4-2. 2-0. Fastball up and away. 3-0. The reliever Swink pitched an inning and 2/3, allowed 2 runs, both earned on 3 hits. Walked 2 and struck out 2. The punishing blow was the 2-run double by Dallas Brooks in the 6th. 3-0 pitch. Right down the chute, called a strike. It's 3-1. That was Brooks on his double, was the last hitter that Swink faced before Gleason came in. 3-1 offering. Fastball line foul to the backstop. 3-2.
One more, kid.
Chatham with a loss today could not only miss a golden opportunity to move up in the Cape League standings, but we'll also now have Orleans hot on its trail. Payoff pitch. Fastball called, strike 3. Gleason faces the minimum in his first full inning out of the bullpen, gives up the leadoff hit, then gets the double play and strikes out Schmidt. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and thanks to the twin killing, nobody left on base. 8 innings in the books at Gov Fuller Field. Falmouth is in front 4-2. The A's have 6 outs to work with, and a new Falmouth pitcher is coming into the game to try to shut down the Chatham offense. He'll face the bottom third of the A's order: Reynolds, Lichtenberger, and Dosa, plus the sweet sounds of Chase Abrams on play-by-play when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Late game action on the other side on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC.
In the sun somewhere, there's some buddies in a Chevy turning up Tom Petty on the way to the Cape. They'll be there all day. In the sun somewhere, there's a home run ball flying over that wall off a Little League bat. Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. It's a road trip on a wild tear, and I'll call you when we get there. Here's to making that coffee can cash. Here's to making those good times last. 2 for 1, fireworks and cold beer in my right hand. Pretty girls in a top-down Jeep, wind blowing through their bleached blonde hair, having fun forever young out there in the sun somewhere.
Back for the 8th at Gov Fuller Field, and to take you home on play-by-play, here's Chase Abrams.
Jake, it's a 4-2 game here as we return for the top of the 8th inning, and Falmouth makes a Chatham bars in call to the bullpen. Sachem Ramos, right-hander into the game for the Commodores. 6'1", 200 pounds from the University of Central Florida. Faces Corbin Reynolds. First pitch to him is low and in, ball 1. Ramos from Brooklyn, New York, and the University of Central Florida, pitching from the right side against the right-hander Reynolds. 1-0. Fastball, lined foul, straight back and out of play. Ramos this past season, 78 innings pitched. He struck out 84, 3.92 ERA with UCF. 1-1 pitch. Fly ball. Right field, hooking towards the line. Diaz gives chase. He doesn't see it. It drops in fair territory and bounces towards the wall. Reynolds heads for second. He's there standing. Diaz lost it in the lights in right field. Reynolds pulls into second base with a leadoff double.
Brutal.
Just hit it up. Diaz didn't see it, and Reynolds has his second double of the game. This one aided a little bit by the bright spotlights around
He'll take it.
Gov Fuller Field. But it's a 2-base hit for Reynolds. It brings Tyler Lichtenberger up with a runner in scoring position and no man gone. First pitch to him. Fastball down and away.
Somebody in the Falmouth dugout almost right away off the bat started screaming right field line, and Diaz just never got there.
1-0 the count on Lichtenberger. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Lichtenberger swung behind 92 miles an hour out of the hand of Ramos.
Do a job, bud.
We'll get to the final line on Case and Murphy in 1 second. Ramos looks in, 1-1 count, out of the stretch, looks back towards second. Here's the pitch. Soft line drive, left center field. In comes the center fielder, Peralta. He makes the catch, throws back to second in time. Reynolds had jumped off too far and was late getting back to second base. An error on the base paths. Reynolds doubled up at second. And now there's 2 men gone and nobody on base for Chatham in the top of the 8th. down 2 runs.
That is a consequential mistake and a completely unnecessary one. The ball was clearly going to be caught. It was about 15 feet in front of Reynolds, who was looking out to center, and he just lollygagged to the base.
First pitch to the right-handed Caden Dosa is a fastball called the strike right down the middle at 92 miles an hour from Ramos. Situation gets a whole lot easier for him. Now the bases are empty, out of the windup, 0-1. Fastball cut on and missed, strike 2.
Now, granted, they probably should have been empty anyway, given the way that Reynolds reached base.
But when you get a gift like that...
Yep, got to take advantage.
Exactly. 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. 3 straight fastballs from Ramos to Dosa, with Rob Rispoli, the leadoff man, waiting on deck.
And look, that's a close play at second. Maybe Reynolds was right that he got there first.
1-2. Off speed that time, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Dosa.
But when the umpire sees the center fielder make a hustle play to come in on the ball and then right away to come up throwing and throw a missile to second versus the base runner hot dogging it back to second, he's punching you out 9 times out of 10.
2-2. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Ramos gives up the bloop fly ball double to Corbin Reynolds to start off the inning, who's then immediately doubled up when Tyler Lichtenberger flew out to center, and then Fabio Peralta gunned back to second where Reynolds was too far off the bag. Then Ramos struck out Dosa and retired the side. It is still 4-2, Falmouth on top with 7, 8, and 9 due up on the other side on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. It started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke and she's taking a drag. Now they're going to bed and my stomach is sick and it's all in my head, but she's touching his chest. Now he takes off her dress. Now let me go. And I just can't look, it's killing me and taking control. Jealousy turning saints into the sea, swimming through sick lullabies, choking on your alibis, but it's just the price I pay. Destiny is calling me. Open up my eager eyes, 'cause I miss the bright side. I'm coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. It started.
We're back for the bottom of the 8th inning. Falmouth 4-2 over Chatham, and the Anglers make a Chatham Bars in call to the bullpen. It's the 6'6", 250-pound right-handed hurler Gavin DeVoe, who hails from Detroit, Michigan, and the University of Michigan, to face the bottom third of the Commodore order. First up, Anthony Diaz, left-handed hitting right fielder, going to Mizzou after this summer. First pitch from DeVoe. Fastball lined back up the middle, a base hit. Diaz greets the first pitch he sees from DeVoe on the mound with a hard hit line drive back to center field. Dosa bobbled it for a second in center. Diaz took a wide turnaround first, urged on by the Falmouth faithful, but ultimately retreated back when Dosa found it in the grass and threw it back in. Final line for Jack Gleason, an inning and a third, 1 hit, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. No earned runs, no runs come across the score, to his credit. Righty-righty matchup now. DeVoe on Nick Ventiker. Opening offering. squares to bunt, pulls back, called the strike anyways on Ventiker. The entire Chatham infield had sprinted to different locations. The second Ventiker squared to bunt, with the third baseman Lichtenberger coming all the way in, sprinting in from his spot at third. Now he returns back on the lip of the grass at third base.
I like the call from Jack Dom. Try to push across another run here.
Devote set is 0-1, squares to bunt again. Ventiker pulls back. This time it's low. A breaking ball that time from Devote, a slider at 86 miles an hour. He throws a sinker and a cutter in addition to that slider, as well as a changeup. Slider used against righties. It breaks away from them. Glove side of Devote. 1-1 the count. Diaz on first, the pitch. Ventiker squares to bunt, pops it foul towards his own dugout on the first base side. And he's down a ball and 2 strikes, so the bunt likely being taken out of the equation. Lichtenberger backs up, still playing in on the grass. Rest of the Chatham defense straight up, with the middle infielders pinched a hair towards the second base bag with the double play in order. 1-2 the count. Devote comes home. Fastball just tapped foul straight back to the netting above the padded brick backstop here at Gov Fuller Field. It remains 1-2 on Nick Ventiker. He's 2 for 3 so far tonight. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, in addition to his strikeout against Jack Oman in the third inning.
It really has been the bottom 3 in this Falmouth order who have done the vast majority of the damage.
Devote set. His 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball popped foul out of play straight back again. It's another slider that time from Devote that broke towards the strike zone rather than away from it.
And I might, if I'm Jack Dom, the Falmouth manager, I might consider running Diaz here. He's got some speed. He's tried it already. Try to push one across, make this a 3-run game.
1-2, Diaz stays put. Pitch is called. Strike 3. Fastball at the knees. Ventiker down looking, his second strikeout tonight. And it brings the number 9 hitter, Dallas Brooks, up.
The catcher from UCF, number 20.
With 1 gone and 1 on. Falmouth leading Chatham 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Brooks 2 for 3 so far. Couple runs driven in on his double 2 innings prior. Devote's first offering. Fastball lined the other way, left field line, hooking foul. Bounced towards the Chatham bullpen. And some fans assembled on the hill adjacent to the third base line here at Gov Fuller Field. Brooks down 0-1. Diaz still leading on first with 1 out. Lichtenberger in line with the bag at third. Middle infielder straight up. 0-1 pitch. Grounded to the right side. Reynolds can't get it. It bounces off his arm into short right field. Diaz turns second, heads for third. The runner, Brooks, stays put at first as the throw comes back in. Brooks reaches on the hard ground ball off of Reynolds' wrist.
And they've just called obstruction against Corbin Reynolds at first, which is going to move the runner Brooks to second.
And then takes the double play out of consideration for Chatham on defense. It's now second and third with 1 out for the Commodores.
So Reynolds, which, remember, is the same player who was doubled off of second base on a line drive to center field last half inning, he dove to get that ball, and then it skipped past him into right field, and he just laid there. Didn't get up right away, got in the way of the runner Brooks, and that's why the obstruction was called by Mike Hinojosa.
With risk of sounding like a broken record, this is not Corbin Reynolds' natural position.
Right.
He's been only a catcher for Chatham this summer as a fielder. He's playing first base tonight because Mississippi State is here to watch Harlan Hovatter, and they want him getting reps behind the dish, so Reynolds got moved to first. Second and third, leadoff man Maley up, first pitch from Devote, popped up just behind the infield left side. Neville ranges back, the shortstop makes the catch just at the edge of the dirt in short left field. He keeps it on the infield and keeps the runners where they're standing. A productive out for Chatham in the field.
Yeah, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Devote Got to get a strikeout or a pop-up in that situation, and he got the pop-up.
The infield had come in for Chatham with 1 out. Now with 2 gone, the infielders back up to playing regular defense on the number 2 hitter, Fabio Peralta. 2 gone. The play will just be to first for Chatham. First pitch from DeVote. Fastball outside. Missed with 94 miles an hour that time. It was a sinker from DeVote. 94 is about as fast as he gets it up to. (1-0). Line to the netting. Offset to the third base side. And the count runs to 1-1 on Peralta. Peralta 1 for 2 tonight. 4 plate appearances, however. He's walked in the 5th and the 6th innings as well. Up with 2 men in scoring position and 2 gone in a 4-2 ball game in the bottom of the 8th inning. Falmouth leading Chatham. 1-1 pitch. Off speed outside. Just a hair outside on the changeup from DeVote. 2 balls and a strike on Fabio Peralta. Peralta batting from the left side is the center fielder from Miami. Lefty-righty matchup with DeVote. DeVote, a deep breath, is 2-1. Fastball lined out towards left center field. Waters races back. He dives, and he made the catch. Bino Waters in full-out sprint towards the left center field gap. Takes away extra bases and a couple more runs from Falmouth. Fabio Peralta hit it on a line towards left center field. Waters tracked it down, and the Commodores strand 2 runners in scoring position. It's no runs on 2 hits for Falmouth. Top of the 9th coming up. Top of the Chatham order, trying to change the outcome on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
I was trying to find my way home, but all I heard was a drone. Bouncing off a satellite, crushing the last line Americanized. This is radio nowhere. Is there anybody alive out there? This is radio nowhere. Is there anybody alive out there? I was there at a dead dial, just another lost number in a file. Dancing down a dark hole, just searching for a world with some soul. This is radio nowhere. Is there anybody alive out there? This is radio nowhere. Is there anybody alive out there? Is there anybody alive out there? I just wanna hear some rhythm. 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 1,000 guitars, all pounding drums. I want a million different voices speaking in tongues.
Commodores leading the Anglers 4-2 in the top of the 9th, and Falmouth goes with another Chatham bars in call to the bullpen. They'll hope it's the final one as they turn to 6'5", 220-pound righty Jay-Sean Unger. He was the closer at Nebraska this past year. It was his sophomore season with Nebraska. Comes in a save situation tonight, trying to put an end to the Chatham unbeaten streak that currently sits at 5 games. He's opposed by the top third of the Chatham order, Rob Rispoli, Bino Waters, and Connor Schaus. Chatham trailing by 2 runs in the top of the 9th. Righty-righty matchup, Rispoli on Unger. 1 for 4 tonight. A single and 3 flyouts, all to right field. First pitch from Unger. Fastball upstairs, 91 miles an hour, and it's zipped by the eyes of Rispoli in the right-handed batter's box as he ducked his head backwards and out of the way. 1-0. Fastball upstairs again on the 5'10" Rispoli. 2 balls and no strikes on him.
Got to have a base runner. Can't score 2 runs if you don't have a base runner.
2-0 pitch. Up and in once more. 92 miles an hour in the vicinity of Rispoli's head as he ducks back a third time. He's ahead 3 balls and no strikes.
Come on, Corey, let's go, bud. Track it right here.
Unger's 3-0. Fastball outside, ball 4. He walks Rispoli on 4 straight pitches to start off the top of the 9th inning. Chatham's got a base runner with nobody out, and the tying run striding to the lefty batter's box in the form of Bino Waters.
LSU number 10, Bino.
In Unger's first outing this season against Orleans' last game, he loaded the bases and then struck out 3 straight to get out of his own jam. First pitch to Waters. It's a fastball, called a strike. Waters taking all the way. And really can't blame him after the guy in front of you gets walked on 4 straight pitches and you're losing by 2.
I would probably do the same.
0-1 to Waters. Breaking ball up and away. 1-1. Waters looking for his first hit tonight. He reached on an error in the first, but then grounded out and has flown out twice since then. Flied out. 1-1 the count. Unger's pitch. Fastball popped to the netting. Straight back foul and out of play. Unger was the primary closer for Nebraska this past season. 13 saves and a 4.05 ERA in 40 innings out of the bullpen. 1-2 on Waters. Here's the pitch. Fly ball drifting out of play, third base side. Rispoli leads off of first. Unger pitching out of the stretch. 4-2 Commodores over the Anglers in the top of the 9th. Man on first, nobody gone. Unger's 1-2 again. Line to the netting once again.
Way to fight, kid. Way to fight.
Bino Waters continuing to fight as he's urged on by the Chatham fans who have congregated here at Gov Fuller Field. Unger looks in, peering in for the sign. Shakes his head once, twice. Now he nods. Has the pitch he wants. Comes home with a 1-2. Low and in. Missed with a breaking ball that skipped right over Waters' purple and yellow cleats. 2 balls and 2 strikes on him now. Unger's pitch. Fastball popped up behind home plate and drifting out of play again. Waters continuing to make Unger work on the mound, continuing to waste pitches.
Good AB kick.
Unger, a guy who allowed just a .203 opponent batting average this past season at Nebraska. Another 2-2. Breaking ball popped up behind home plate. Brooks pops off the mask, drifts back, and it drifts out of play once more.
The Bino Waters foul balls are getting closer to us.
He's kind of, it's like he's targeting our blue tent behind home plate offset to the third base side. Another 2-2. Waters checked his swing and it hit him in the foot. It hit him on the back left foot. Waters, a little bit of a limp as he walks down the first base line. He seems to be okay. Rispoli advances to second.
Come on, Connor, let's go, bud.
Waters worked a 9-pitch at bat. He was hit on the foot on the 9th pitch. And now Chatham has 2 men on, and Connor Schaus is up representing the go-ahead run.
It's a tremendous at bat from Waters at a time where the A's really needed it, but he is feeling it on that foot.
He leads off of first now, applying the sliding mitt on his right hand. Typically that goes on the inside hand, which would be his left hand, so kind of surprised to see that. Third baseman Schmidt in on the grass for Falmouth. Righty-righty matchup, Schaus and Unger. First pitch, Schaus squares to bunt, pulls back, it's high for ball 1. Catcher doesn't have it, Brooks dropped it, now the runner breaks for third, throw there, not in time! Brooks faked like he had lost the ball, turning back towards the padded brick backstop here at Gov Fuller Field. Rispoli broke for third. Then Brooks found it, gunned it towards third, but Rispoli's slide was just ahead of the throw. And now Chatham has runners on the corners with nobody out. Still down by 2 in the top of the 9th.
I don't know that was a fake. I think Brooks genuinely did not know where the ball was. And a heads-up play by Rispoli to take third.
1-0 the count on Schaus. Here's the pitch. Fastball, called a strike, 93 miles an hour on the outer third.
Let's go.
Unfortunate that Waters was not able to follow up Rispoli there.
I thought it was a fake because Brooks found it like pretty much as Rispoli broke for third. I mean, the timing just seemed too perfect. It's a ball and a strike on Schaus. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside and away. Schaus works the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Cooper Neville, the man waiting on deck. He'll have the favorable righty-lefty matchup if it gets to him. 2-1 pitch. Waters breaks for second. Swing and a miss from Schaus. No throw to second, and Waters swipes it cleanly.
Come on, Connor. They're out there for you, buddy.
Count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Schaus. 2 men in scoring position for the A's. The infield backs up for the Commodores.
Only takes a single now to tie this thing up.
2-2 count. Unger looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Wow.
He caged Schaus with 92 on the heater. Stayed outside on the outside part of the plate. Sends Schaus down swinging for the first out in the top of the 9th inning. And Harlan Hovatter, or rather Cooper Neville, steps up for the A's. Harlan Hovatter, the man on deck. Both lefties set to oppose the righty Unger. First pitch to Neville. Fastball cut on and missed.
Good hack. Good hack.
92 miles an hour. It's not blow you away speed from Unger, but Chatham hitters thus far this inning have struggled to catch up to it. 0-1 the count. Unger's pitch. Breaking ball clocked. Center field. Center fielder Peralta drifts back over his left. Now he moves to his right and makes the catch. Breaking from third is the runner Rispoli. Waters goes second to third. Another run comes across for Chatham. It's now a 4-3 game in the top of the 9th.
Let's go, buddy. Come on.
The second sac fly of the night for Cooper Neville. He's been responsible for all 3 Chatham runs. Sac fly in the first, he walked and scored in the 6th rather, and now the sac fly in the 9th. Tying run 90 feet away for Chatham. Waters on third. First pitch to Hovatter is outside. Missed with a fastball that time did Unger. 1-0 the count on Hovatter. 2 gone. Man on third for the A's.
Unger's made it pretty clear he's going to try to win the battle with his fastball.
1-0. Ground ball scooped by Unger on the mound. He flips to first for the final out. Oh, Hovatter hit it on the screws, but Unger, cat-like reflexes from 60 feet away, snares it before it can bounce past him and through the infield. Falmouth wins 4-3 and ends the 5-game unbeaten streak for the A's. Unger shuts the door, earns the save. 1-3 on the final putout of the night to retire Hovatter, and that is the ball game. It's 3 runs on 6 hits for Chatham in this one. 4 runs on 9 hits with 2 errors for the host Falmouth Commodores. The Anglers fall to 4-5-1. The Commodores improve to 5-4-1. Chatham misses out on an opportunity to move up in the East Division standings. We've got the Anglers Extra postgame show coming up. Plenty to talk about after this game. Postgame highlights and an interview on the other side.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC.
When the lights go down in the
extra.
Your final here at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Chatham falls to 4-5-1. The Commodores improve to 5-4-1. 3 runs on 6 hits with no errors for the A's. 4 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors for the Commodores. It's time for your Anglers Extra Postgame Show, as brought to you by Sweet Tomatoes Pizza. We've got your postgame interview, your postgame highlights, Anglers Extra Postgame Show brought to you by Sweet Tomatoes Pizza. As always, we've got your Anglers Extra Postgame Show. But first, before your postgame highlights, Jake Klein is standing by with a special guest.
All right, Chase, Diamond side with Cooper Neville after the A's comeback falls just short on the road at Falmouth. Cooper, you come up to the plate there in the final inning, hit another sacrifice fly, second of the game. What were you thinking when you came up for that at bat?
Honestly, I knew that he had some ride, so I was just trying to get on top of it and hit a line drive, and could have scored 2 runs, but ended up getting under it a little bit and scored 1. But yeah, we'll take it. It's a job.
2 sacrifice flies, now 4 on the year, and you lead the Cape League in runs batted in. What's your approach when you come up to the plate with less than 2 outs and runners in scoring position?
I mean, honestly, everybody here can hit. Everybody knows that. But I think for me, I'm just trying to work on being a team guy, and seeing a runner on with less than 2 outs. That's a job to do. Everyone knows that I could get a hit, but and anybody can get a hit. But I think what really matters is who's willing to give themselves up and score a run, and that's what I've been trying to do.
Offense was so hot during that 4-game winning streak, and it feels like the last 2 it's maybe cooled off a little. Is there anything that you can pinpoint that's been different these past 2 days?
No, I don't think so. I think Coach Cook said it pretty well. We are winning the first half and we're winning the second half, but it's kind of like that mid-game lull that we fall into and give away some pitches, some at-bats and big moments, and once we get that back, we'll be rolling again.
Cooper, thanks for the time.
Thanks.
Back to Chase.
All right, Jake. Anglers Extra Postgame Show continues with your postgame highlights presented by Touchstone Closing. Neville, who we just heard from, provided the first run of this game with a sac fly in the top of the first inning. And then his pitcher, Jack Oman, did something that you don't see too frequently in baseball. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Called. Strike 3. It pops out of Hovatter's mitt. He can't pick it up. Now he does. And we say no drop, third strike.
The batter kicked the ball, so they called him out.
Well, the rare 4 strikeout inning, we bear witness to it. A 4 strikeout inning for Jack Oman in the bottom of the first inning. He's been fantastic to start his tenure in Chatham. And it was scoreless, or rather it was 1-0 Chatham, thanks to the Cooper Neville sac fly. And then Austin Maley came up in the bottom of the 5th for Falmouth, trying to change the fate of the Commodores.
0-1. Breaking ball, broken bat flare over third into left field, a base hit. Diaz scores, then Tyker rounds third. He scores standing. The batter, Maley, is caught in a rundown between first and second. Rispoli throws to first. The ball gets away. It rolls toward the Falmouth dugout, and the runner stays at first.
Austin Maley puts Falmouth on the board there. Though it wasn't long that Cole Johnson, in his Chatham debut, decided to even things up for the A's.
First pitch to Cole Johnson. Fastball drilled into the right center field gap. Diaz runs over. The center fielder Peralta makes the catch. Neville tags from third. The throw in rolls to the plate. Neville scores standing. The A's have tied the game. Cole Johnson evens things up at 2 with a sacrifice fly. His first Chatham run batted in makes it 2-2 in the top of the 6th.
Cole Johnson evened things up in one of his first Chatham at-bats, but back and forth we went. Dallas Brooks came up in the bottom of the 6th inning, trying to add on for the Commodores.
2-1 pitch. Fastball drilled into the left center field gap. Waters and Dosa sprint over. Dosa dives, can't get it. It rolls up against the fence. Schmidt scores. Here comes Ventiker. Throw to the plate. Held by Neville. It's a 2-out, 2-run double for Dallas Brooks, and Falmouth makes it 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th.
And 4-2 it stayed until the top of the 9th inning, when Chatham decided to make things a little interesting, and the guy you just heard from, Cooper Neville, was the man responsible for that. 0-1 the count. Unger's pitch. Breaking ball clocked. Center field. Center fielder Peralta drifts back over his left. Now he moves to his right and makes the catch. Breaking from third is the runner Rispoli. Waters goes second to third. Another run comes across for Chatham. It's now a 4-3 game in the top of the 9th. That would be the end of the scoring for Chatham. Harlan Hovatter came up with Bino Waters on third, hit it hard back up the middle, but Jay Sean Unger was ready for it there. Chatham unable to keep the unbeaten streak alive. It stops at 5 games. The Anglers fall to 4-5-1. The Commodores move up to 5-4-1. Anglers have the day off tomorrow, but when we come back on the 26th, that's Friday, we're back at Veterans Field. Chatham takes on Harwich. First pitch is set for 7 p.m. As always, Jake and I have you with the Anglers Extra pregame show at 6:40 sharp. For Jake Klein, our producer Ben Corbett, and the whole crew here at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts, I'm Chase Abrams saying thanks for listening and so long.
Chatham Anglers Baseball 2026 has been brought to you by the Chatham Bars Inn, Chatham Clothing Bar, Touchstone Closing, Mahi Gold, Chatham Paint and Hardware, Sweet Tomatoes Pizza, Cape Cod 5, The Red Nun Bar and Grill, Short and Sweet Ice Cream, and by the Chatham A's.
Chatham A's Baseball, Sports Radio, play-by-play, summertime on Cape Cod.
This has been an exclusive presentation of Chatham A's Baseball on TRZ Team Line.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.